Up in the lane, Adu shot short, no good. Rebound battled for Adu out of there with it, but the horn's going to sound and Baylor wins the ball game. Baylor wins the ball game. Hard fought tonight in Dallas, but the Bears are going to win it.
It led some breakouts. We had a couple loose ball turnovers, which they are really good in transition. If you give them that opportunity, they go. I thought Adu was terrific and fought the whole time. There were some pick and roll issues we had, and they took advantage of it. Our bigs we're not in sync yet where we'll be. But in the second half, we did some good stuff. We gave ourselves a chance. We pressed a little bit, showing, okay, maybe this is something we can do. It's what you're trying to do in these games. I mean, this is November. They're a top 10 team, and we come down and give ourselves a chance, and the kids did give us a chance to win.
Arkansas falls to Baylor 72-67. That was just one of the many things that happened over the weekend. Glad you're with us. Wes Moore, Joe Franklin. It is your weekend recap brought to you by Fleet Management Services. Joe, did you have a good weekend?
I did. A lot of good football and mixed in with some Arkansas basketball. There was plenty to go around.
Yeah, I got to watch a lot of football starting Friday with Fearless Friday, then Saturday all-day football mixed in the Razorback basketball game, and then Sunday, more football. I watched noon, 3 last night. Last night was a great way to top off the weekend.
Yeah.
Or at least the Sunday. We got one more game tonight.
Had some family in town, so got a chance to watch some games with my uncle. And had I talked to him prior to our picks, he said, what the recipe was, Alabama, LSU.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I have a feeling Jalen Milroe's about to go off in this game.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what he did.
He did.
So had I talked to him prior to us making picks, maybe I would have gone Alabama and listened to him.
Well, somebody we were talking to, I can't remember who it was last week, was talking about Milroe and thought he was going to go off. And I thought about that during the game. I was thinking that you said that during our picks. But Milroe, man, he was a beast. And one of the I follow that tracker that tracks the speed, top overall speed of a player for college football over the weekend, and Milroe hit 21.9 miles per hour.
That's moving.
Yeah, he showed a different gear. I mean, he was running away from guys, and LSU's full of speed too. And for Milroe to be able to do that just shows you how fast he was. I tell you what, Ole Miss, they were impressive in their win over Georgia, and it started the way the game started. With Dart and the turnover, and then Georgia scores right away, 7-0. I was thinking, that's kind of what I thought. Just going to manhandle them and win the battle of the trenches and just take care of this with no problem. And then it was Ole Miss, dominant from then on, just about. Dart even goes out of the game, and the backup comes in, leads them right down the field to tie it up. I was impressed. That's 2 weeks in a row we've gotten to see Ole Miss, and they have looked very good. Their offensive line, I thought that was going to be the downfall. They did a very good job of protecting and doing just enough in the running game. I'm impressed with Ole Miss. I think they're one of the better teams in the country. I got to say they're a top 10 team for sure, and maybe with all the talent they have, they're starting to peak at the right time. They could be a player when this is all said and done.
How about Oklahoma, Missouri? That game was pretty much a low-scoring game. In the last 3.5 minutes, they scored 4 touchdowns combined.
Yeah, that's one of those better nightmares, I'm sure, for the folks that had the under. You're like counting your money, This is easy. It was a field goal fest. And then all of a sudden, turnovers galore. Defenses are scoring points back and forth, and that was a crazy game to wrap it up Saturday night, kind of late. I think that was the last game that I watched Saturday night. I didn't do any real late watching.
Yeah, and I was following the score on that, and based on our picks, you took OU, I took Missouri. When OU was up 23-16, I just saw the score and saw how much time was left, and I was like, okay, it looks like OU is going to win this one. And I saw the score flash, saw Missouri won 30-23, and I'm like, Missouri scored 2 touchdowns?
Yeah.
They didn't even win in overtime. They won in regulation.
Got that defensive score. It was crazy the way that game just turned so quickly after Oklahoma got the defensive score. I was like you, game over. I mean, Sooners going to win, and then just a disastrous turnabout for Oklahoma, and very fortunate for Missouri, and they get that win. And it was funny. Their coach was like, "We still got 2 losses. We're still in this thing. We still got a chance. We got a path for the playoffs."
They seem to thrive at home like that for some reason too.
Man,
especially late in games.
That was, and then last night, late in the game, former Razorback Jake Bakes with the 2 50-yard plus field goals to win it for Detroit. Houston had played so well for so long, and just it was you know what? It showed me a lot about Detroit, honestly.
Sign of a great team.
Yeah, to win ugly like that. Houston had dominated the game. Their defense was awesome, creating all kinds of problems and turnovers. Five interceptions last night. And somehow Detroit, I mean, that's their head coach. They gut it out and find a way to win.
How about Jared Goff, though, just being able to fight through that and just keep a cooler head and know that he has to still go out and throw the ball at times, and he's already thrown 5 picks, but he still has to go through it to put him in position to kick those field goals.
And 2 Razorbacks on the offensive line. You had Ragnow at center, and Dan Skipper got to start yesterday at left tackle because of an injury. So that was pretty cool when they announced the starting lineups and the players say where they're from, and you had a couple of guys from from Arkansas on the offensive line. So that was good. And then, of course, Bates with the big kicks. They were featured.
And to make that connection also, I was telling my uncle that Brett Bielema, because he's in Chicago, so University of Illinois, Brett Bielema, their coach, he was the coach at Arkansas at the time and recruited those guys. So just to make that connection to him, because he follows a lot of college football altogether, but being in that area, he knows about Illinois and Brett Bielema.
Probably the best offensive line they've had in a long time. That was that big offensive line that when Pittman was there, and that's that group that went to Texas Tech and just ran it down their throats all day long. And Coach Pittman talked a little bit about that team today. We got some sound from Coach Pittman. They're getting ready to play Texas, of course, and he showed some videos to the team to let them in on the rivalry that they're going to hear about all week. And, you know, their classmates, friends are going to be talking about the rivalry with Texas. And so he gave them some background, showed them some clips from 64 and then 69 shootout. And he said they were kind of laughing because of the quality of the video, you know, is not to today's standards. And not the same kind of technology, and but he even talked about, you know, beating Texas in the Texas Bowl, and he said for him that was at that time, because he hadn't gone to Georgia yet and played for national championships and big games. He said that was kind of like the biggest game feel that I'd been a part of. That, you know, that Texas Bowl just had that electric feel, that how big it was. He's like, and this is 2 6-6 teams. You know, that playing at the end of the year, but that game, that rivalry just meant so much, and just had a great feeling walking into that stadium that night.
And it's in Houston, which is close enough where you get a large amount of the fan base there. And, of course, Texas was going to bring their fans. So, yeah, it was definitely an exciting game at that time, because you get bowl eligible and then you have a chance to get a bowl win over one of your rivals. That Arkansas is big on playing that game against Texas anytime, anywhere, and they were able to come away with a win.
We'll have Fernando Carmona on with us here in about 30 minutes, and we'll ask him about the Texas game, the rivalry, and what he did over the weekend. Speaking of Coach Pittman, he addressed the media at noon and updated everyone on injuries.
Caleb practiced every day last week, and I believe that he'll be fine. Braxton's going to practice today. We'll see how long he lasts, or if he can go for an extended period of time. I think that's June Cosner's beat up a little bit. I think that's about it. Braylon will be fine. He'll practice today.
Yeah, he was asked about Braylon Russell and that hamstring, so he'll practice today. And Jaquindon Jackson wasn't a part of that clip, but he had already addressed Jaquindon Jackson, and he's going to practice today, so they're going to see if he's able to go with a full week of practice. But Jaquindon's from, obviously started at the University of Texas before transferring out, but he's a Texas kid, and this game means a lot to him. And Coach talked about some of the guys, Andrew Armstrong. He said that even when they went to SEC Media Days down in Dallas, that Armstrong was talking about how big it was to be able to come back home to Texas and to get to play the Longhorns. And this is a big game for a lot of those guys that come from the state of Texas, not just the Arkansas-Texas rivalry, but a chance to play the Longhorns. Some of these kids grew up wanting to be a Longhorn, didn't get recruited by the Longhorns, and now they get a chance to maybe show the Longhorns, you should have recruited me. Coach Pittman also talked about the secondary. That's been a big issue the last couple of games. All the passing yards they gave up to Ole Miss and to LSU. So over the bye week, here's what they did.
We certainly have made it very competitive back there. If you asked me who was going to start at safety, I would say let's wait a couple more days. We've made it that much of a battle. Same thing at the corner spot. I think you have to do that. If you'll lose your room if you don't. If you don't challenge with guys that are twos, they're going to be going, well, I just watched the tape and maybe I should have an opportunity. And so we certainly are doing that, not just with, well, we may get you in the game with going out there first, with starting. And we've done that with at least 3 of the 5 positions, possibly 4.
It says a lot right there. May have a totally different looking secondary after watching the tape and then a couple weeks of practice. So that's something to keep an eye on when we start to see, because the depth chart came out and there was no changes in the 2 deep really with what they put out today. So, but we've seen that before. It was like when they made the change at left guard. There wasn't even a change in the depth chart until after the game, and we kind of had been hearing that was a possibility to get Kudus in there at left guard, and sure enough, he comes out and plays pretty much the entire game at left guard. So don't read anything in the depth chart. I think we just heard from Pittman there could be some changes with the secondary and getting some guys in there, give them an opportunity to see what they can do.
With secondary, they mentioned before the season that they were going to kind of interchange some guys and get more players on the field, and just kind of they had trust in a lot of these players. And so if they are going on the field first, starting, whatever the case may be, or just playing more minutes altogether just because they're playing well, that was kind of the plan from the start. So I think this is more kind of refocusing on that.
I think what they may have gotten in the habit of not substituting enough during some of the game. Look, I don't sit there and watch the secondary every play and see if it's the same guys in there every snap. Maybe they are, but it seems like it's the same ones, whether it's Jaden Johnson or Metcalf back there at safety. And both of them got off to great starts, early in the year, but then here recently, where's the safeties been? What's going on with that safety play? And maybe that's a case of, if nothing else, competition. If if they're giving those second team, that's going to push those guys, Johnson, Metcalf, to play a little bit better, because now maybe your starting job, you can't take it for granted.
We also have to go back to Coach Pittman's comments last week, where he said that they tried a bunch of different things, bunch of different looks, bunch of formations, mixing and matching players, and nothing seemed to work. So they're just really kind of concentrating on this right now to see if they can repair it. And at this point in the season, it's probably not likely that you can repair it. And maybe it says a lot more about the quarterbacks that they face, because they have faced some really good quarterbacks here in this part of the season as opposed to what was there early.
We'll see another one this week with Ewers. Coach talked about Ewers. We'll get to that later on in the show. We got to take a break because Clint Sterner, our quarterback, is coming up next. We'll get his thoughts on Texas. I watched the Texas game. They're good. I don't think they're great. I think they're good. I think they're beatable. I'm not saying Arkansas is the team that's going to beat them, but they don't blow me away like some other teams I've seen. But they are good. We'll talk to Sterner next. Then we got Fernando Carmona. It's going to be a busy but fun hour. Glad you're hanging out with us. Stick around. We're just getting started. It's Out of Bounds.
Razorback defensive end Landon Jackson joins Morning Mayhem each week, presented by Crane Automotive Team. Shop over 5,000 new and pre-owned vehicles at craneteam.com.
This is SportsCenter.
Arkansas basketball fell to Baylor in Dallas 72-67. Adu Thiero was a standout performer as he had 24 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and a block on 10 of 15 from the floor. The Razorbacks will try to get back in the win column on Wednesday as they host the Trojans of Troy. For further updates on the men's basketball team, listen to Live with Coach Cal tonight on The Buzz. Around the state in college basketball, Little Rock fell to Winthrop 82-67. They'll take on Arkansas State tomorrow. Arkansas State lost a competitive game against Alabama 88-79 on Friday. Arkansas Pine Buff lost to Tulsa 103-80. They'll face South Florida tomorrow. And Central Arkansas lost to Utah 98-63 on Friday night. They'll host Randall University on Wednesday. I'm Christian Weaver with the Buzz Radio Network.
Well, I'm a orthopedic surgeon, board certified.
Meet Dr. John Herzog, who's certainly done his share of knee and hip replacements. But these days, he's encouraging his patients to look at regenerative medicine options, now available at QC Kinetics.
I'm kind of the anti-surgeon right now, and a lot of my buddies, if they hear me talking, they're going to give me a call.
Dr. Herzog says advances in regenerative medicine can give your achy joints lasting relief, using highly concentrated healing agents from your own body to repair and restore damaged tissue.
We take the fluid out of you, we concentrate it and put it in an area where they couldn't normally get to and facilitate healing.
Are you suffering from constant pain due to arthritis or injury? Maybe it's time to look at alternatives to drugs and surgery at QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in these exciting treatments.
What could be more natural than using your own body to heal yourself?
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 501-222-8440. That's 501-222-8440. 501-222-8440.
Darren McFadden is back for another season of college football with the guys from Morning Mayhem. DMAC is known as the best running back in Razorback history. Darren McFadden is presented by Fortify Building Solutions. Need a new metal roof, wall, or building products? Go see our friends at Fortify Building Solutions in Benton or at fortifybuildingsolutions.com.
An evening with Larry the Cable Guy.
It's a cool anniversary for me tonight. This is my 27th year in the comedy business, and it's my 5th year being funny, so I'm excited about both of them, all right?
Friday, January 17th, Oaklawn Event Center in Hot Springs. On sale now at oaklawn.com.
Get her done.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
Hi, it's Frank Fletcher from the Fletcher Dodge store here in Sherwood. Folks, if you're shopping for a new car or truck, I hope you'll come see us and give us a chance to earn your business. We have huge discounts, 0% financing available, and we'll give you $1,000 over Kelly Blue Book value for your trade-in. Folks, I guarantee you a hassle-free buying experience. And if you've had credit problems in the past, listen to this. We have an easy pre-approval process. Just go to FletcherCredit.com to get started. You can be pre-approved in minutes. It's really not hard. FletcherCredit.com. Folks, we're also still buying cars every day. If you got an old car or truck you want to turn into cash, bring it to Fletcher Dodge in Sherwood and ask for Chris or Andy. Shop Fletcher Dodge in Sherwood before you buy anywhere else. Shop in person or shop online at FletcherDeals.com. Thank you.
Injured? There's only one number you need to know. 888-8888.
At Rainwater Holton Sexton, no case is too big and no insurance company too strong.
Just dial 888-8888.
Responsible attorneys Michael Rainwater and Bob Sexton. Tune in every Monday night at 7 for the Coach Calipari Show. Coach will break down each game and talk strategy. And it's all brought to you by Genesis of Conway, Central Arkansas's only Genesis dealer. Visit genesisofconway.com and find the future of luxury today.
Out of bounds on 103.7 The Buzz. Live from the Gwatney Chevrolet studio. Gwatney Chevrolet. Driving, trust every mile.
Oh, the University of Arkansas Twitter account's making me very happy. Actually, it's the Razorbacks men's basketball Twitter account. They tweeted out today, and it's getting a lot of reposting. It says, hey, we get it. Weeknights are tough, but let's make sure tickets sold are tickets used, people. You can sell your tickets on SeatGeek or donate them back to us to get in the hands of community and campus groups. It's a picture of Coach Calipari and says, donate your tickets. Transfer your unused tickets to HogTix, T-I-X, at uark.edu. I like that. Get the message out. Get people in the stands there at Bud Walton Arena.
Clint Turner on Out of Bounds is brought to you by Chris Crane Hyundai.
Let's bring in Clint. What's up, man? How are you?
Man, I'm just ultra thankful for Chris Crane Hyundai, man. That's all. Just rocking and rolling, bud. Just all coming off of a late night, man, after the Sunday night football with the Texans and the Lions, and I do the post game for the Texans, the official Texans post game at the stadium. So, man, I rolled into the garage about 2:30 this morning,
Oof.
man, and then back at it today, baby. So, and it was one of them games that the outcome sucked for the Texans, but it was one where, boy, the callers were amped up. So in our world, it was a good evening.
How did you go about explaining that one where they caused so many turnovers, Jared Goff 5 interceptions, and you lose a game like that?
Well, I mean, I think there's two things. I think big picture, there's two things, right? One, you look at those two football teams. I think the Lions are the best team in football. I thought that before the game. That's not a reaction to them beating the Texans. I thought that before the game, that they were the best complete team in football. And after watching the Texans and the Lions, it's just blatantly obvious the Texans aren't ready to be a contender. You had one team that was battle tested. You had one team that knows how to handle adversity. You had one team that they're superstars when the game's on the line, goes out and makes plays. You got one team where the offensive coordinator, when you need 3rd and 6 late in the ball game, man, you draw up a play where you get your best receiver in a void in the zone for an 8 or 10 yard gain. It just make it look easy, man. And then you've got another. That's the Lions, by the way. And then you've got another team in the Texans who are trying to get there and have done some really good things. They've got a good roster, but boy, they just don't have it in them yet. You know, their best players. Here's the deal: is their best players, when it mattered the most, strunk in the moment. You know, C.J. Stroud had a great first half. You got a double-digit lead. All you need is a field goal or one touchdown in the second half, and you go out there and you get shut out in the second half. And he had opportunities. He had Tank Dell wide open for a touchdown and floated it up there, and the DB recovered and intercepted it. You know, you got a 3rd and 10 game on the line. You get the ball at midfield, and your highest-paid player, highest-paid left tackle in the league, Laramie Tunsil, gets beat like a drum by not Aiden Hutchinson, not Zadarius Smith, who they just signed. Hell, they didn't even suit him up. It was Jared Parham or something like that. Some guy, I didn't even have his name. And he messes up and gives up a sack, and it was a sack fumble, 8-9 yard loss, and another drive, man. You got the ball down near at midfield, and Shaq Mason, the Super Bowl winning, left guard, just blows protection and gives up a sack and ends up in a 2nd and 30. And the Texans just aren't ready, when it matters the most to be that championship, make those championship caliber plays. And they turned around and watched Detroit do it in the entire second half. So I think the big picture for Texans fans is just, our team's not there yet, man.
Okay, Clint.
You just don't know. You don't know how to act in the big moment, man.
Clint Stoner with us on Out of Bounds. Clint, I've been wanting to ask you this. It's about the throwing motion with the quarterback. And I didn't realize how much, torque, pressure is put on a hamstring when you're throwing it. For Dak to rip his hamstring off his bone throwing a pass, is he doing something wrong, or is there that much pressure on your hamstring when you're throwing it? Talk to me about the dynamics of throwing the ball with your hamstring.
Well, it's the biomechanics of it, actually. And I'm no doctor, but there is, when I was playing, we didn't work that. That wasn't part of we didn't do all the silly ass dances and warm ups that these guys do nowadays with the rotational stuff. I mean, if you were a rotational thrower, you played quarterback and you exceeded and you excelled and you threw the football well. Now, all these guys that are natural, rotators are getting in the league and getting into college, and they're trying to become more rotational. And so it's much more, I think, it's much more detailed training now. But there's no doubt your push-off leg, your for a right leg for a right-hander, it's the, to me, when you feel it, is the follow-through. When you're really pushing off with that back foot and starting that rotation with that back foot, and it's the highest part of your hamstring in the bottom of your butt cheek where it ties in there. And I've never strained it, but I've had it strained from lifting weights and then gone and throw, and I feel it where I didn't realize that I would ever feel it before. So I'm not familiar with all the biomechanics of it, Wes, but it's the push off leg where the rotation and you're trying to get force out of the ground, in that golf swing ultimately. And boy, when you stand up on it out of it, man, you flex that glute and that hamstring lights up. There ain't no doubt about it.
You mentioned the training part of it, but do you think that, and not that Dak runs a ton or anything, but do you think more of that comes about because of how these guys are moving around more so at the quarterback position?
Well, I mean, obviously there's more risk associated with it, but no, I mean, when you look at something like what Dak's going through, to me, it has more to do with what Wes is talking about in a sense of training a certain way, and in that training process, maybe your body doesn't naturally, you take a natural rotational thrower, and that guy's going to be a pitcher, or he's going to be a quarterback, or he's going to have a really good golf swing and things, and he's going to swing a bat naturally and things of that nature. But boy, when you take it to the next level, freak, and all of a sudden all of your off-season training revolves around that muscle and strengthening that muscle and strengthening that action. Again, I don't know how it all ties together, but I would imagine that that's a training a certain way that probably didn't work out well for Dak Prescott, in my opinion. Because you start training that muscle to rotate and to generate that ground force, and then all of a sudden your natural running motion or your natural drop or something like that is strained a different way. And so I've always been leery of this new age training anyway. You can argue, like when Wes, you probably know this better than anybody, because as much Cowboys as you watch, but you can argue that Dak today, after doing all the silly-ass warm-ups and going through all the training, is either the exact same when it comes to accuracy or maybe even worse when it comes to, he doesn't have elite accuracy as it pertains to NFL quarterbacks. And he still throws balls. If you watch his games, he still throws balls where tight ends are having to jump up and catch it with a 10-foot radius instead of in their chest. He's not a ball placement specialist. And so I think, I don't know, I've just always questioned all this rotational stuff that's involved in quarterback training now anyway.
The Cooper Rush looked very rusty last night. Can we say that's because the Cowboys didn't play him in the preseason at all, and that kind of now is coming back to haunt them?
Yeah, well, look, I mean, this is typical Jerry, right? He never, which I'm thankful for because I made a little bit of money doing it, but I mean, Jerry just never addresses the backup quarterback position the way that it should be addressed. I mean, there's if you're not going to play, which I think is silly anyway. I think it's silly to not play your starter, much less your backup. But it's like there's too many really good veteran quarterbacks that don't need the reps, that understand how to stay ahead of the game and have already seen every blitz and every coverage that you can throw at them. And when you don't address the backup quarterback situation, then you need it, and you got to depend on a Cooper Rush. Which no knock on Cooper Rush, but he ought to be a third stringer for 3 or 4 years. And wait for a shot, and if he gets a shot and goes and wins 3 or 4 games, then you pay him a little bit of money. But like Cooper Rush is not a solid backup in this league. When you look at, it's not if you're trying to make a run in a Super Bowl, especially like Jerry's trying to sell to everybody that he is, which nobody's buying. Like if you're trying to make a run at a Super Bowl, you've got to have a backup quarterback that, sure, he's not as good as your starter, but if he gets in there, for a fact he can go and this is his strong suit. This is what he does well. This is how we wrap the offense around him. And we go out there, and because we've got a really good supporting cast, that this guy could give us a chance to still win a championship. And Cooper Rush is not that guy. And then the crazy thing, Wes, is if you look at kind of the way the whole Trey Lance thing went down, to trade for Trey Lance, bring him in here with the just tangible high ceiling skill set that he has, and then him not be your backup and him not – and I understand that's not the sexiest thing because he didn't play well in the preseason, but that whole backup quarterback dynamic. Oh, well, hell, let's be honest. It's the whole quarterback dynamic in Dallas is just a weird situation. Like, why, if this is the approach that you're going to have to be an all-in, why pay Dak $60 million a year? Why handcuff yourself? Mm-hmm. If you're not going to go put literally fill the roster as quality. I mean, a lot of people talk about the running back position, but you can talk about a ton of positions, right? Yep. Like, if you're not going to do that, why pay Dak 60? Why handcuff your organization more with a quarterback by paying him $60 million a year? None of it makes sense to me.
It almost seemed like they were going to let it play out, and it seemed like Dak would have been comfortable doing that, and then maybe felt a little pressure right before season started, and then they signed him to the contract. Now,
yeah, freak, but you got it, freak. You can't feel pressure in that moment. You signed up for it, right? Like, to me, I was on Jerry's side with this. Hey, don't sign Dak. Let him play it out, and let Mike McCarthy play it out. And if it goes south, which the wheels have obviously come off, then you make the decision then, right? Whether you pay him the money or you let him walk, or you fire McCarthy, or you clean house. But now the way it all unfolded just is bad business. Yeah, I don't think it was bad business to not sign him. Like, I don't think it was bad business to not sign Dak last year. Like, I think you decided to go one direction. You went that direction. The bad decision, the bad business came when you punted on your plan and you paid the guy $60 million a year the day before the season started.
Yeah, because they were in that position where Dak would have been in the last year of his contract. Mike McCarthy, if it didn't go well, like you said, then, yeah, you can change it all up. But they changed midstream themselves and signed him.
Clint, what about Texas, the Longhorns? I got to watch them Saturday morning, and, man, that offense is fun to watch. Sark can dial some things up. What do you see?
Well, they're fun to watch. They've got great skill. They reloaded. And I thought Sark was pulling our leg at SEC Media Days when he talked about how many guys he had lost, but yet he feels like he's a much deeper, not just deeper, but a much deeper, much more talented football team this year than they were last year. And at the time, I was like, yeah, okay, Sark, I hear you. But watching them, that is the case. And if they can stay healthy, which I know they got a lot of guys that aren't coming back, but if they can stay healthy the remainder of the season, I think they're as good as anybody out there right now. The reality of it is the parity in college football is at an all-time high, which for all of us is absolutely beautiful. And for truth be told, I know we got the majority of Arkansas fans listening. It should be a beautiful thing moving forward for the Arkansas Razorbacks as well. But the parity in college football, with Alabama being very beatable, Georgia being very beatable, Texas has been beaten. There's just very few unbeatens at this point in time, especially when you're talking about the big boys. And it's not like Georgia now doesn't seem to be the unbeatable team, right? The team that's just so dominant you can't compete with them in the trenches. Texas clearly isn't that team. So I don't know. I just look across the board, man, and I just think the parity in college football right now is a beautiful thing. And you've got your Cinderellas, and you've got like your, let's say your 5 through 10, and I don't mean the rankings, but just say your 5 through 10. Let's not count BYU. Let's not count Indiana. Let's not count Boise State. Let's talk about the former Power 5, the Power 4 teams. Like, all of them, bro, have a legit shot. Like, all of them have, like every one of those games, again, with the exception of the 3 teams I just mentioned, I mean, all of them are going to be 3-point games, like 3-point lines. You know what I mean? They're all going to be less than 5-point line kind of deal once this thing comes around. So it's beautiful, man. And look, I think Texas falls in that mix. I personally, right now, I think Texas is probably, they got to play better, but I think Texas is probably the best team in the country. But I do love Oregon. It's hard to argue with their body of work. So we'll see. I think Texas, to answer your question, though, I know I'm all over the place. To answer your question, I think Texas is the best team in college football right now.
Who would challenge them SEC-wise then?
Oh, challenge them. That's the beautiful thing about it. I think, look, you watch Bama this past weekend. They're going to be tough, but again, they're beatable. They're not invincible the way that they have been in the past. Georgia's got a quarterback problem, and I think their offense is they lack the explosion that they've had in the past. They lack the ability to just road grade you up front, so they're very beatable in the SEC. Tennessee, we know firsthand that they're a beatable football team. You look at Ole Miss; they let I think Kentucky get them, and I can't remember who else got them, but Ole Miss is they've got their warts as well. Even though right now you can argue, Ole Miss has made a believer out of me. Jackson Dart has made a believer out of me. Those guys right now. I never thought I would say this, but I think going into a 12-team playoff, I think Ole Miss, has just as good a chance right now as anybody in the country. They're playing really, really, really good football, and they got dudes now. Mm-hmm. So yeah, look, I think there's just a ton of parity across college football, and it's never been more obvious than the parity that's in the SEC right now.
Clint, we got to run. Good stuff. We'll talk to you next Monday.
Always good, boys. Can't wait, man. Go home.
Clint Sterner with us on Out of Bounds. When we come back, Fernando Carmona. See what the big left tackle did over the weekend. Stick around. It's Out of Bounds.
Fort Thompson's in Sherwood has Browning Wicked Wing 12-gauge steel on sale for $89.99 per case after $50 mail-in rebate. Fort Thompson's in Sherwood has you covered this season. Stop in or visit FortThompson.com.
Hurry up, dude. The game's about to start.
Nothing beats spending the day watching the game with your buddies.
Dude, I'm literally right here. Let's do this.
Which is why a shelter insurance renter's policy is key to your winning game plan. It protects things your landlord's policy doesn't.
Dude, where's your TV?
What? No way, dude. Like that flat screen TV that just got stolen.
See Agent Steve Ferguson in Little Rock, Bo Beavis in Cabot, or Daniel Vickers in Sherwood.
Arkansas golf legend John Daly joins the mayhem each week, brought to you by Genesis of Conway, the future of luxury today, and by Central Arkansas Truck and Trailer, family owned and operated diesel and truck repair you can trust.
Not sure how much you know about Progressive Insurance. You may know us for insuring your home and auto. You may know a couple of our commercials. But what you may not know is that since 2013, Progressive has been honoring veterans with vehicle donations through the annual Keys to Progress Veteran Vehicle Giveaway Program, giving back to those who gave so much. Now, you probably didn't wake up today saying, I really wish I knew more about Progressive Insurance, but this seemed like the type of thing people wouldn't mind hearing about. Find out more about how we're dedicated to our customers and communities at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
The holidays are here at the Home Depot. If you're working on getting ready for company,
a lot of company,
make sure you're ready with Black Friday savings. Get up to 40% off select appliances, plus up to an extra $1,000 off select kitchen appliances. Upgrade your kitchen with top brands like GE Profile and get sleek cutting-edge appliances to make sure you've
got hosting handled.
Yeah, you do. Get Black Friday savings now with free delivery and financing on select appliances this holiday at the Home Depot. Offer valid November 6th through December 4th. U.S. only. See store online for details.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted a Colonial with high ceilings, hardwood floors, and a peaceful neighborhood. And you found it. Now, every Saturday at 6 a.m., you get to wake to the sound of your neighbor's leaf blower. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million-plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Brooke here, live from the sports desk. Our number one play comes from the number one Hyundai dealer in Arkansas. Chris Crane Hyundai of Conway, coming in hot with another huge score. Inventory selection to fit any budget. Boom! Look how they say yes. Game-changing action from the winning team at Chris Crane Hyundai of Conway.
Win big with 1.99% financing. New Tucsons and Elantras at Chris Crane Hyundai in Conway and online at chriscranehyundai.com.
Oaklawn Sports presents Oaklawn Game Day. It's an inside look at the week's big games, exciting prop bets, and the latest betting lines from Oaklawn Sportsbook. Justin Acree and Oaklawn's Director of Sports Wagering, Zach Gillum, have all the information you need to place your bets at Oaklawn. Catch it on The Buzz Wednesday night at 8, and again Thursday mornings at 5:30 before Morning Mayhem. Oaklawn Game Day, presented by Oaklawn Sports on 103.7 The Buzz.
Out of Bounds, live from the Gwatney Chevrolet studio.
Welcome back to Out of Bounds. We're going to go straight to the phone lines. Bring in Fernando Cremona, the Razorback starting left tackle. What's up, Fernando? How are you?
I'm doing great. Good talking to you boys on this fine Monday.
All right, what'd you do Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
I slept Friday, slept Saturday, and slept some more on Sunday. No, I really just caught up on some rest, man. Stretched out each and every day, kept the body kind of going a little bit. But, no, lots of rest, stretching, and just chilling, man. Not worrying about anything. I did watch the game Saturday, though. I did watch the game Saturday against Texas, against Florida.
So what'd you think?
It looked solid.
From what you saw there with Texas?
Yeah, they look solid. I think one thing we could learn from Florida is that we can't get ourselves in third and long. And Florida found themselves early in a lot of third and longs, and Texas is a very solid defense, and they don't make many mistakes. So I think as an offense, you just kind of have to be consistent, stay in front of the sticks, and that's how you're going to beat them.
When you watch that game, are you watching it technically, or are you watching it kind of as a fan?
I watch it a little bit as both, because obviously, it's good to kind of get both aspects of it, just kind of seeing the flow of it, seeing how they respond to certain things. But a lot of it's just kind of watching the offensive line, and then after big plays or after something, just kind of watching how the other team responds, and then watching how Texas obviously kind of goes about their operation. So it's a little bit of both when I watch the games on TV.
Do you get a different feel if you watch a game like that, or if you're just watching film on a team?
Yeah, I think you definitely get a different feel when you're watching it on TV. You kind of see how the crowd's into it, how the defense is kind of juiced up, or how they're kind of going about their kind of operation. Because I feel like sometimes on film, it cuts off right after the play's over, so you don't really get to see that kind of extra stuff that you may see on the TV copy. And so, yeah, it's really nice seeing the TV copy, because you actually get quite a bit of information about a team after the play than when you're just watching it straight from the film.
Well, it should be a great atmosphere Saturday morning, because this is a big rivalry for Arkansas fans. A lot of, I would say, the older generation, back to the Southwest Conference days, this was the big game, Arkansas, Texas. Now, it's kind of changed over the years moving to the SEC, but there are still a lot of people that hate Texas and can't wait for this weekend and hope Arkansas just pounds the Longhorns.
Oh yeah, Pittman definitely harped on that, and he's told us all about the history of it. And like you said, it's a lot of the older generation Razorbacks fans just kind of passing it down to the younger people of we don't mess with Texas. And I'm excited, man. This is what college football is all about. It's about the rivalry game. It's about the hatred. It's about my team's better than your team, and to be the first Arkansas team to play them in the SEC, I'm excited to kind of set this rivalry and kind of get it started back going again.
Have you guys heard from any former players about what it means to them with this rivalry?
Not yet, but I'm sure Mateos likes to talk to former players and kind of get their input. So I'm sure towards the end of this week we'll start seeing some videos from them. Those are my favorite. I love when those alumni kind of talk to us and kind of get us juiced up.
Got Fernando Cremona with us on Out of Bounds. It was kind of cool watching some of those alum last night on Sunday Night Football. You had Frank Ragnow, and then Dan Skipper, Big Dan, playing left tackle for the Lions last night. And even Jake Bates, the kicker, spent some time at Arkansas.
Yeah.
So
big time kick for him too. That was humongous. That was awesome to see.
That was pretty clutch. Get 2 50-yarders like that at the end of the game, and then the game winner. No, that was pretty cool. You know, the crazy thing is he never kicked at the University of Arkansas for field goals. He just kicked off all the time. And now
insane.
It is, isn't it? And now he's kicking in the NFL, kicking game winners from 50-plus yards for the Lions.
He made one that was like 58, right?
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Lions.
That's insane.
All-time record.
Just goes to show how good Cam Little was, man.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Fernando Carmona with us on Out of Bounds. How are you, health-wise, after getting some time off?
Oh, I'm feeling great, man. Body's rejuvenated. That's kind of what the bye week's all about, just kind of getting the body and mental going. And, yeah, I'm excited to tackle this Monday practice because, you know, my body hasn't felt this good in a while.
So what's the week of practice going to be like, getting prepared for the game?
Yes. So today is a little bit of a shorter practice and kind of not as physical. We're wearing like these soft pads. And then tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're really going to get after it. You know, dive deep into the game plan. And then Thursday is just kind of making sure all the tools are sharpened. You know, all the plays that we're going to be running, the first 8 plays that we're going to be running are going to be ran that day, obviously. And so it's going to be a hard week, but it's going to be I think everybody's really locked in. This bye week was really good for us to kind of flush everything and then kind of mentally get back to, you know, our game, the Arkansas football way.
Coach Pittman spoke with the media earlier today at noon and said that it was good. It was good to get Braxton back, Jaquindon Jackson out there practicing, Braylon Russell. Sounded like the guys, health-wise, Arkansas was in a really good shape and may have everybody back at practice today.
Yeah, no, I think we're going to have everybody back. It's going to be nice having both the running backs back. You know, they just bring a great energy to the practice. They keep the offensive line in check and just kind of keeping us going. So it's going to be huge. This was the perfect bye week timing. I don't know if the coaches had any say in it, but if they did, they planned it perfectly. And, yeah, no, it's perfect, man. Everybody's kind of getting back and healthy, and I think we're ready for the one common goal, and that's to beat Texas.
You get a chance to do anything fishing-wise or anything you like outside?
No, you know what? Me and Andreas actually went to a comedy club Saturday night. It was a good time, man. It was called The Groove. We've seen a good comedian, and it was good just to kind of just unwind, you know, laugh a little bit. They had some food for us there, and the food was all right. It wasn't the greatest, but, you know, we had a good laugh, and I got to spend some time with Dre, so that was always a good time.
That's cool. Hey, I didn't get to ask you last week, Malachi Singleton, him coming in, playing like he did. Coach Pittman said today, and he was asked about it, but if, you know, something's wrong with Taylon Green or he can't go, does he have more confidence now in Malachi Singleton? He said, yeah. I mean, if there's something wrong, we have zero hesitation putting Malachi Singleton in the game.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people saw last Saturday that guy has the utmost confidence in himself and, you know, his abilities. And, you know, when he goes into the huddle, I can tell you right now, he has a look in his eye. The way he responds to the players and the way he talks to us, you know, he's a natural leader at heart. And I think the whole team feels that way. Obviously, we want him to go out there, but, you know, if he's still banged up from this knee injury, I think, you know, that transition is going to be seamless. And, you know, I'm just so happy for him because he's put in the work. And he's not one of those people to complain. He just kind of put his head down. He was waiting for his time, and last Saturday was his time, and he showed it to everybody. And, you know, I just love the way he runs the ball. He's just trying to run over people. And as an offensive lineman, you know, you love that from your quarterback. You love it, but you hate it. It scares you a little bit, but, you know, you love the aggressiveness.
Fernando Carmona with us. What would getting that 6th win against Texas this week mean to you as far as getting bowl eligible?
Man, it's going to be huge. That would be a great momentum for us going into La Tech. And then, I mean, my dream right now, I really want to go to the Las Vegas Bowl. And I think if we beat Texas, that's going to help out our odds. I don't really know how that whole bowl situation works, but I think it would help us out tremendously. And, you know, just beating a team like Texas, I mean, bowl eligibility is cool, but, you know, beating your rivals is even cooler.
Did you watch any NFL games yesterday?
I did not, man. I had lots of homework I had to catch up on. I kind of procrastinated it to the last second. So I was studying the books, but I did see the highlights, and like I said, I'd seen that kick. I've seen the 58-yarder, and then him coming back after and hitting the, I think, like 53 or something, which was insane. So that was really the only thing I saw.
Well, besides Florida, Texas, did you watch any other college SEC games Saturday?
I watched a few. I watched that Ole Miss game. Ole Miss looks really solid. You know, that was a big-time win for their program. I don't think we've really seen anybody dominate Georgia like that in a while, and so this kind of speaks volumes to that Ole Miss team that we played. I think they're catching fire at the right time. And then I actually I don't know if you saw the La Tech game.
Yeah.
I forgot who they were playing, but they lost off of a
Jacksonville
a Hail
State.
Mary. Yeah, they lost off of a Hail Mary. It was insane. Well, the kicker missed the
extra point.
The extra point to win the game, yeah. So I seen that. That was pretty insane. But, that was about it.
Coach, and this is going to be your fourth-ranked SEC opponent to play, with Tennessee, LSU, Ole Miss, Texas. I mean, we're talking about the cream of the crop of the SEC coming to Fayetteville. Who do you, and this is just your opinion, and you only play against the defense, but who's been the best team you think y'all have played so far?
Man, originally I thought I was going to say LSU, and then we played Ole Miss, and Ole Miss has a hell of a squad to them. Texas, it's hard to tell, man. All so good. They all have, their strengths and their weaknesses, but very little weaknesses, I should say. But I think Ole Miss, they have a really good box. Their offense is explosive. But I'm a huge believer in you need a good defensive line and a good offensive line, and I think Ole Miss kind of has both of that. And they're a solid team. So if I was going to pick anybody, it would probably be Ole Miss.
Fernando, a lot of fun. Best of luck against Texas. We'll talk to you next Monday.
Appreciate you guys. Talk to you guys Monday. Go.
Fernando Cremona with us on Out of Bounds. Hour number 2 coming up next. Got the Razor Hog Update brought to you by Bradford Marine and ATV.
Former Razorback linebacker Hayden Henry joins Out of Bounds every week through the football season courtesy of Crane Automotive Team. Shop over 5,000 new and pre-owned vehicles at craneteam.com.
Heartland Rehabilitation and Care Center in Benton proudly offers compassionate and loving care to our veterans, meeting the unique needs of every veteran who calls Heartland home. Visit heartlandrehabcenter.com.
At Eat My Catfish, fall is our favorite time of the year, and football season isn't the only thing making a comeback. Available now, our famous shrimp gumbo and Cajun boudin balls make their return to the menu. Order online at eatmycatfish.com. Eat local, eat fresh, Eat My Catfish.
This is how it will happen. I'll come on the radio and say, when you own a car from Genesis of Conway, you experience car ownership that you never knew existed. And now Genesis has a wonderful offer. And then you'll say, okay, Craig, try me. And then I'll say, right now, $6,500 off 2024 GV80s, or become an owner at 2.9% interest. And then you'll go, yes! And then you'll go to Genesis of Conway and discover the future of luxury today.
The best seats at the game don't always require tickets. Sometimes all you need is a pair of earphones. And 103.7 The Buzz. KABZ Little Rock. Buzz News with KARK's Claire Kreitz.
In Camden, police arrest the person they say shot several rounds, damaging property in the area. Police say calls for shots fired came in near Agee Avenue and McCullough Street Friday afternoon around 4:30. When police got there, they found one person with 2 guns. Officers took that suspect into custody after they say the suspect fired shots at cars and a utility pole. No injuries were reported. The Rev Room in Little Rock helped kick off a new campaign for Called to Duty. It's a nonprofit that helps veterans dealing with substance abuse. The group behind it hopes to bring awareness to their struggles and find ways the community can help them. Call to Duty provides veterans with resources they need to overcome addictions. If you or someone you know needs help, we have a link on our website, krk.com. This is Claire Kreitz for the Buzz Radio Network.
Get your picks in now for the Bud White SEC Pick'em Challenge. You could win a 50-inch TV. Go to 1037thebuzz.com to register.
Weather from the Fletcher Weather Center. Buzz weather with KARK's Pat Walker.
Happy Veterans Day. It's going to be a beautiful day. A high of 71 degrees, mostly sunny, and a north wind of 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear, kind of chilly, with a light north-northeast wind. We'll have an overnight low of 48 degrees. For the Buzz Radio Network, I'm meteorologist Pat Walker.
Fletcher Dodge wants to buy your car. We'll buy any make or model, and we'll pay you more than anyone else. Please, turn your old car into cash at Fletcher Dodge in Sherwood.
This is Trey Schapp. Tune in each Friday morning at 5:30 right here on The Buzz as I bring you From the Shortgrass, presented by UAMS Health, Orthopedics, and Sports Medicine. If you like to hear interesting stories about the game of golf, this is for you. You can also find it wherever you get your podcasts.
This is David Dunn with Central Arkansas Truck and Trailer. Did you know that we also offer mobile diagnostic service and repair? Equipment broke down? The check engine light on? We will come to you with the latest computer software and expert technicians to repair your truck on the spot. If it does need to come to our shop, we will arrange to pick it up. Let Central Arkansas Truck and Trailer take care of all your service and repair needs at your place or ours. That's 501-568-2185.
Roger, did you know that Oaklawn Sports is the mobile app that lets you bet anywhere in Arkansas?
Anywhere, so I can bet the over when I'm in Dover.
Indeed you can.
I can take the underdog in Dogtown.
Absolutely.
You're telling me I can bet on the pigskin in Piggott?
Yep.
Hoops in Humnoke, baseball in Bauxite, long shots in Lavaca?
All of the above.
Anywhere, huh?
Anywhere.
Nice.
Easy to use and even easier to fund. Bet with confidence. Bet with Oaklawn Sports. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
The colder temperatures are starting to come back, and what's that mean? Well, if you've got achy joints, everything's going to start to hurt again. Hey, everybody, it's RJ Hawk. Are you tired of knee pain, back pain, hip pain, all because of arthritis? Well, what if I told you there was a fix? What if I told you you could use your own body's healing properties to treat the root cause of your arthritic pain? QC Kinetics can get you there. The protocols developed by QC Kinetics are life-changing that so many people around Central Arkansas are making that free consultation call to find out more about how they can live pain-free. Yes, you can have real lasting relief from chronic joint pain without drugs, without surgery, and without downtime. Stop what you're doing right now. Pick up the phone and call 501-222-8440. Discover your options with advanced regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics. The consultation is absolutely free, so what are you waiting on? Call 501-222-8440. That's 501-222-8440.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Courtney Cronin.
You need to take Coach Prime seriously because they are a much better team than they were a season ago. And it's not just because of Shadur Sanders or Travis Hunter. They don't do this whole thing alone. It's like early in the season, you could say Colorado's a two-person team. The overtime win that they had to get over Baylor, like all of that. All of those things made sense, and you felt it was an inflated sense of, wow, this is a team on the rise, but it's really controlled by two players. They've shown you that they can overcome the issues that they have on the offensive line. They've shown you again and again they can respond to in-game adversity, from the Hail Mary they had, which beat Baylor, to what happened in Saturday. They were down by 13. This is a real college football team. They're no longer a gimmick. They are one of the best teams in college football, and if they continue on this path, then they will be in the Big 12 championship game, and their path will be very clear to get into the 12-team CFP.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small, loud or quiet. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
At the Home Depot, we know Saturdays are for college football. That's why we have everything you need to never miss a play. Like North America's #1 home fire safety brand, Kidda. Because on a day full of football sounds you love, like fight songs, roaring crowds, and your favorite commentators...
Like me, Kirk Herbstreit.
The last sound you want to hear is... Defend your game time with Kidda and the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Based on total household installations as of December 20.
Live from the Gwatney Chevrolet Studios, this is Out of Bounds with Joe Franklin and Wes Moore on 103.7 The Buzz. It's now time for your Razor Hog Update, presented by Bradford Marine and ATV, your Can-Am super headquarters. Bradford Marine and ATV with many statewide locations. Visit BradfordMarine.com, selling fun since 1971.
I thought TB did some good things. Jonas did some good things. He did some good things. We just got to get more from those guys. And I mean, when they're out there, they're big. It's hard to get shots off, and we got muscled a little bit, which we knew would be the case knowing this team. They miss a shot and he boom and lays it in. Like, no, that can't happen and then win games. All that stuff kind of adds up.
Arkansas goes down to Dallas, loses to Baylor. Good game. It was an entertaining game. Baylor's good. Arkansas's good. Nothing's changed for me. I look at the team and I think Jonas Adu, got to get him going. He missed a lot of time, a lot of practice time, and he's just getting back. And you could tell he's still trying to work his way into game shape and the flow of the game. Got to get Nelly going. Could have really used his offense in the first half. His shooting against the zone would have made a difference. But you can tell the time he missed is slowing him down a little bit. And once you get Nelly going with Boogie Flan, I tell you what, Thiero, I'm about to change the way we say his name. Remember, we were taught Thiero, and now we've come to find out he was Thiero at Kentucky, but he got here, and they asked him, and he said, well, it's Thiero.
Thiero.
So now we got to go back to the way it looks. Thiero. Dude, that guy's a baller. He could go. He's fun to watch. He's a lot of energy, but very athletic. And now he's starting to shoot the ball. I mean, hit a couple of threes, a couple of jumpers, of course the dunks. Man, he's if you just watch him, just kind of isolate and watch him play, he's fun to watch.
Yeah, he's all over the court on both ends, offensively, defensively. He can just do a lot on the court altogether, and they need to make sure the ball gets in his hands and he gets some time on the floor.
The Razorbacks in the first half struggled against the Baylor zone. I think they missed their first 9 3-pointers? They finally hit one, and they were 1 for 10. And it got better in the second half.
First half can't be on them because we just haven't worked that much against zone because we haven't scrimmaged. We've had 5 guys for weeks. Halftime, we went in and said, all right, we got to do this way. And I think you saw that we moved the ball. The reason Scott stayed in it, and he should have, we looked so bad against the zone. Why would you get out of it? So second half, I thought we did it. I thought we fought. We never gave up. We gave ourselves a chance.
Over on the D3 Auto Sales text line, someone was asking about this exact clip we just played. Wes, what is Coach Cal talking about not having enough players to learn a zone offense? He has 14 roster players, so if 4 of them are injured, he still has 10 guys and several student assistants. Learning a zone offense is basketball 101. I think what he's saying there, that, Coach has his 9 guys. He may have 14 guys, but he has his 9 guys he's going to play with. And 4 of them were out, so he only had 5 of them practicing. And I'm reading in between the lines, trying to figure out, I'm with you. I mean, you couldn't learn a zone before. You couldn't have the guys that are hurt just stand over there and watch and try to hammer home, here's what we're going to do against the zone. Here's how we, the University of Arkansas, this is going to be our philosophy. Here's how we're going to attack a zone. I was just surprised by that a little bit. Even if you got 4 of your main guys standing over there, there's some time to work on zone prep, right?
Mentally you can, but if you want to show exactly what needs to happen, then you need to have bodies that can move around. So, yeah, with mentally you can teach it, but if you don't feel like you're capable with the bodies to move around, then some coaches don't feel comfortable enough just giving the info without showing actual movement to go with it.
Yeah, it was kind of stunning that they had to wait until halftime to really figure out how they were going to attack that zone, and there was a lot of just perimeter passing and, zone attacking the zones. It's kind of fundamental. They should have already known this, like in high school, right? Attack the middle, or you attack the baseline, get it there, and then pass it out, and you get a wide open shot. And there wasn't much of that at all in the first half.
The difference is you're talking about a new roster. Now, there are players that are familiar with one another, so they may have worked on it before together, but you're talking about other players that they haven't played with. So all of this is going to take some time to get used to with these players playing together for what is essentially the first time, still learning each other, learning each other's tendencies, what they're strong at, where they want the ball in certain spots. So it's a work in progress because they're all just learning one another.
We were just talking about Thero and how well he played. Here's Coach Cal.
He's in attack mode now. Instead of messing with the ball, he's in attack mode. And now he can get to where he needs to go. Probably got to get him to do a little stride stop, so if he gets stuck, he can turn and make plays for his teammates, and that may be one of the things he can do for us. But he also defended a very physical guy.
Next up for Arkansas is Troy Wednesday night. If you got tickets and can't go, University of Arkansas basketball Twitter account tweeting out, hey, we got programs. If you're not going to use the tickets, we can give those away for you, or you can sell those. Let's get those seats filled at Bud Walton Arena. We've got the tickets sold. Now let's get butts in the seats. Sam Pittman spoke with the media earlier today. He updated everyone on injuries. Sounds like everybody is going to be able to practice today, and they'll go from there. See if Braxton can go all week and be there and be available against Texas at corner. Got Taylon Green back practicing, Jaquindon Jackson back practicing, Braylon Russell back practicing. So sounds like the time off was very good. He also talked a little bit about Texas quarterback Quinn Ewers.
You look at them, they're scary. They're dangerous at wide out and running back out of the backfield. And Ewers throwing the football. He has one of the fastest releases of guys I've seen. I mean, he can throw a bubble screen and it's halfway there, and you don't even see him throw it. I mean, he's really, really talented. He got an extremely strong arm. So there are some similarities there, and what are you gonna do? You're gonna try to cover, obviously. You're gonna try to get to him. You're gonna try to move the point. They're good enough offensive line wise where you're gonna have to send some guys to get to him because he has such a quick release, and then therefore when you do, you're gonna have to be in some type of either zone 3 or man to man, and so we'll have to pick and choose our times there, but. We have to mix it up on him, and we have to disguise better than what we have. And I think that goes back to your question a little bit. I think part of it is we've got to disguise our coverages better than what we have.
When the line came out, and maybe I missed it, maybe I was a little late on it, but I swear I saw Texas favored by 17 last night.
I thought there was an early line last week that we had.
They had the money line, but I never saw a point spread. The money line came out on Bet Saracen because we talked to Neil about that on Friday, and he anticipated the line coming out Sunday night, late Saturday night, early Sunday, and I swear I saw a line of Texas favored by 17. And a lot of times Bet Saracen will tweet this out. There it is, yeah. This is November 10th, so it was yesterday. 17.5. Texas was favored by 17.5.
That's not surprising.
No. You know what's surprising?
You thought it was going to be more?
No. It's 13.5 right now.
Oh, yeah. Well,
it has come down 4 points. That's a lot of money coming in on Arkansas.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
That's what's surprising to me.
You're talking about a number of points there where there are people that feel good about taking Arkansas and those points.
I'll say this. I feel good. I feel like Arkansas has a chance in this game. Here's why. The Texas front seven on defense isn't overpowering. They're not an Ole Miss. They're not a Tennessee. I think Arkansas will be able to run the ball. And honestly, it's going to be how effective they are running the ball. If they can control the ball offensively, run some clock, and just use that run game, and that'll set up the pass, and that'll set up Taylor Green and give them some opportunities. But I don't see the strength of this Texas team on defense being their defensive line and linebackers. Their strength is their secondary. They've got really good cover guys, good safeties. They have a lot of interceptions, but I think there's that chance Arkansas is going to be able to run the ball on Texas. And then offensively, Texas isn't a strong running team. Arkansas has done a fairly good job of stopping the run. I got to wonder if this isn't a game kind of like the Tennessee, where we're going to see that three-man front more and more DBs, more safeties in the game, because the threat to me is Texas on the outside. And they're not a deep passing team either. Texas doesn't take a lot of shots down the field like Ole Miss. They're really the opposite. They throw a lot of short passes, a little wide receiver screens. They get the ball out of Ewer's hand very quickly. And he does a great job of getting rid of it quickly. He's got a good quick throwing motion, but they like to throw it out to the wide receivers, let them go with it. Now, the key for Arkansas defensively, they got to tackle. They're going to put some guys out in space. You got to make that tackle, and if you miss that tackle, he could take it to the house. They're very good at big plays, and that's haunted Arkansas all year. That does scare me. Just the big play potential Texas has against Arkansas.
That's where more of the concern is with defending Texas and what they're able to do offensively, but also with them as an offense, if they are doing the short passes, it's going to open the field up where they will be able to take some shots at some point. Now, a lot of times the defense will dictate how an offense is playing, and if they're giving up so many yards, then the offense will just take what the defense is giving. But if you do that and then the field opens where you are able to take some shots, if that's something that Texas doesn't do a lot, you may see it more because of what the defense is dictating.
Texas ran a play. They faked the end around to a wide receiver. He goes to the top of your screen. He's coming and fake it to him. Then they fake it to the running back coming back towards the left. And then there's a second wide receiver coming on an end around like a reverse, hand it to him. And so he has that lead wide receiver who they faked it to leading the way as a blocker. It was I've never seen anything like it. It was two fakes and finally handed to the receiver coming on an end around. And it was a huge chunk play. I mean, it's a lot of eye candy. They do a lot of eye candy. You got to be very, very focused as a defender to stay in your lane because they're going to do a lot of stuff like that.
And guaranteed there are variations to that play. So what you saw as far as the play being run like that, they can do some different things from that play where they could toss it back to the quarterback and let him throw it to somebody downfield.
Or fake all three handoffs and throw it to the guy who was the original one on the end around, and you think he's out there to block again, and he goes like he's blocking you, and you let him go because you want to try to make the tackle, and he just keeps running, and they throw it to him.
That's something that all teams are trying to put on film, especially if it is successful. You put it on film, and now there are teams that are studying that, but then you throw something different at them from that same play.
But the only chance Arkansas has is in that secondary. It's got to be much better. It can't be anything like the Ole Miss game. It can't be anything like the LSU game. If it is, they're in a lot of trouble, and I don't see them winning this game. But if they've used this week productively, fix some of the issues in the secondary, get the secondary playing like it was back earlier in the season, then they got a chance. Otherwise, no. I don't think you can outscore Texas. Brad's in Searcy. What's up, Brad?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good.
It's all right.
First of all, I fell asleep. Did BYU win?
They did. It was a crazy, controversial game. It was so controversial that Utah AD got up and the Utah athletic director addressed the media and got after the Big 12 and the Big 12 officials. He was so upset about some of the calls at the end of the game. It was, it's a huge rivalry game, and so emotions were high. But I don't know if I've ever seen an AD like that get up there and do a press conference and blast the officials in the conference.
Go back and watch that. Absolutely. Well, I mean, okay, first of all, Texas got it easy because all they got to do is watch 3 films to have Arkansas's number. The only thing we're going on is over the last 10 years or so, well, since Houston Nutt, we've kind of had Texas's number. But, man, see, all they got to do is watch the Oklahoma State game, the LSU game where he picked us apart, and the Ole Miss game where he lit us up.
Mm-hmm.
Notice the difference in the two?
Mm-hmm. I didn't hang up on Brad. Brad, that was you or your connection. I think Texas is good, but I'm not sure how good Texas is. You know, are they like Clint Sterner? He loves Texas. A little biased as his wife went there. I'm sure he has to hear it all the time, right, in his house. But he thought they may be one of the best teams in the country.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any bias there. He's just calling it like he sees it.
I think he hears his wife too much. Here's my point. This is the Texas schedule. They play Georgia. That's it. And they got beat by Georgia, 30-15. Colorado State, Michigan, UTSA, Louisiana Monroe, Mississippi State, Oklahoma, Georgia, Vanderbilt, Florida. That's their schedule.
Yeah, and there's no question that Texas is talented, and I think that was more where Clint Sterner was coming from, where he was talking about the talent is there. They're well coached with Steve Sarkisian. Just what they can do offensively. He's a guy that has always been intriguing as an offensive mind. And so you see what they are capable of if they play one of these other top teams. But also he said that with parity in college football, you're not going to be surprised if you see one of these other teams rise.
Their offense is fun to watch. I tell you what they do, it's entertaining. I was thoroughly entertained watching them play Florida, and it wasn't a good game. 49-17 was the final, and it wasn't that close. Florida scored kind of late, but once again, they've gotten lucky not only with the schedule, but the circumstances of the teams that they're playing. Mississippi State, that was the first game for that true freshman to play. That was his first game to start, was against Texas. Oklahoma, their quarterback has since been benched that they played against. Georgia, Beck struggled against them. It's kind of where it all started with Beck starting his struggles. And then Vanderbilt. And that was a close game with Vanderbilt. They have had some issues with the quarterback running around on them. And that may be something Taylor Green can take advantage of.
Hopefully that is the case.
Yeah. Texas is a good team. Legit, top, deserving to be in the playoff team. I don't think this is one of the best teams in the country. They're going to have to prove a lot more to me. In fact, like right now, as we sit here today, when they play Texas A&M, last game of the year, I'm going with A&M. I think A&M's a better team. I think Georgia's a better team. Well, we know they beat them on the field. I think Ole Miss is a better team than Texas. I'd like to see LSU and Texas play. I think that would be a good matchup.
Yeah, that one's probably not going to happen.
No, probably not going to happen. Here's more from Coach Pittman. This was we played a little bit of it. There's more him talking about his cornerbacks and safeties and what they've done over the bye week.
We certainly have made it very competitive back there. If you asked me who was going to start at safety, I would say let's wait a couple more days. We've made it that much of a battle. Same thing at the corner spot. I think you have to do that. If you'll lose your room if you don't. If you don't challenge with guys that are twos, they're going to be going, well, I just watched the tape and maybe I should have an opportunity. And so we certainly are doing that, not just with, well, we may get you in the game with going out there first, with starting. And we've done that with at least 3 of the 5 positions, possibly 4. I didn't think we played as hard against Ole Miss. I did not feel that way against LSU. I thought that we played hard. I thought our matchup that night wasn't great. Nussmeier was really on, and so were the wide receivers. But we were 16-10 with 5 minutes left in the third with the ball. Ole Miss was certainly a different story. It was almost like they knew exactly what we were going to do defensively and could combat it because Dart was certainly on. We couldn't get to him, and we had a hard time covering him. I think to answer your question, our concern is more about a trend that went last year and to this point. And last year, we didn't challenge. In other words, we didn't say, hey, let's put somebody, let's give another opportunity here. And this year we have. So, like I say before, we tried so many different things against Ole Miss that none of them seemed to work. But it all goes down to I just didn't feel like we played as hard as what we normally do. And we've got to certainly get back to that to have a chance.
Over on the D3 Auto Sales text line, someone was asking about the over-under. Was it still 55? And it is not 55. It's gone up to 57.5. So a lot of movement on this line since it first came out yesterday. Wes, besides Tennessee, this is from the 479. Besides Tennessee, who has Arkansas played? Well, this is their fourth top 10 opponent to play at home. All four top 10, Tennessee, LSU, Ole Miss. Now Texas, pretty tough.
Yeah. Now, the better question is probably who have they beaten besides Tennessee?
That's their best win. And look, Tennessee still, we'll see where they are when the new college football playoff rankings come out, but they were 7 last week.
Think about it, though. That's their one loss. Tennessee's one loss is to Arkansas.
Mm-hmm.
And so everything is in front of them that if they're able to put it all together like they have been most of the season, other than that one game, they'll be in a good position.
Oh, they're in. They're in. As long as they keep winning, they're in. You sound like a complete idiot talking about Texas. I'm just telling you, my opinion, I don't think they're great. I don't think they're one of the teams that to be a contender to win it. I think to be a team to win a national championship, you got to be able to run the ball. And they have not shown that to me. And when I see Florida running it on them and having some little success running the ball, I think Arkansas can run it on them, and I know other teams can run on them. And I don't think they've been challenged like an Ole Miss, like an LSU, like a Tennessee, like an Alabama, like an A&M. They've played the schedule that was given to them, and they've won these games. You got to give them credit for that. But how tested are they? I don't think they're as tested as all these other teams. Bobby Joe says somebody is stupid talking about that line moving down 4 points. Bobby Joe, that is a ton of money coming in on Arkansas. And I'll just say this. Usually for the line to move that much, it's some of the sharks out there that are laying this money. They jumped on that line early. Usually your casual bettor waits until the day of the game to make the bet. Unless it's something that they really, really like and they're like, this is awesome. I'm taking the 17.5. But for the most part, the early bettors are your sharks, the guys who are doing this for a living.
Or if there's something that happened that the public doesn't know about.
Random question here. Barry Switzer spoke about my aunt, Suzanne McGee, at the Touchdown Club today. And I'd really like a copy of the speech. Do you have any suggestions how to get a copy? Thank you so much. That's from Jennifer. Jennifer, go to the Little Rock Touchdown Club YouTube page, and they'll have the whole thing archived. And you'll have it. It's right there. You can have it forever. Running on our backups. It was 35-0 at the half. Well, they were also running on you in the first half. I quit paying attention in the second half, honestly. But I was just seeing some plays that are there. And I know you're a Texas fan. You don't want to hear anything negative about your team. You do have a good team. I just don't think you're a great team. I think there are some holes. LC says, Wes, I think you think by you suggesting we've got a chance against Texas. I'm hoping they don't implement drug testing at the Buzz. Dude, they got a chance. We didn't think they had a chance against Tennessee. No one did. No one was calling in and thinking they were going to beat Tennessee. Not a soul. And they did it. And this is a very similar situation, isn't it? Double-digit dog at home against a team nobody thinks they can beat. Just don't count them out. I'm not picking Arkansas to win the game. I'm just telling you there's some things there that give me a little hope. That's all I'm saying. There's some hope. Some of y'all have no hope whatsoever and think it's about to be another Ole Miss game, and it very well could be.
Yeah. Everybody, you think about what you've seen recently. Though,
yeah.
And that's the most recent thought of Arkansas is seeing them get beat the way that they did against Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm. It's the last taste in our mouth, and it's not a good taste right now. And hopefully the team's got that bad taste. Usually a team that gets embarrassed like that, they bounce back. And especially after a bye week, and it's just been pounded on them for 2 weeks, I would hope we get a very good effort, a much better effort from Arkansas. And it's going to take that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to take a phenomenal effort, some things go right, no turnovers, which we've been down that road so much. I don't want to go there. From DJ, has coming out party this weekend, and Green has 4 touchdowns total. There you go. That's getting in the spirit. Yeah, Luke has been playing better and better the last couple of weeks. He's getting more and more involved in the offense, and I think he's getting healthier, dealing with that, what was it, the hip kind of injury. It was back. It was locking up on him. We saw him at Oklahoma State. Hardly could run in for that touchdown when he was wide open. But I think that's gotten better, and you're starting to see the Luke has version we saw at the end of, or the beginning of last year.
They're getting tight ends involved in the offense overall, but it is much different competition that they played here over the last week or so, and then going into the Texas game, it's going to be much different competition than what we saw before that.
We got to take a break. I just realized we've rambled on for over 30 minutes. When we come back, we can take some more phone calls, 661-1037. 661-1037. Is Leonard still holding? I was about to say. That's been up there for a long time. We got the phone lines cleared. 661-1037. If you want to jump in here, we're talking a little bit about the Texas game. We got Troy basketball we can hit on. NFL. Great games in the NFL, except for one. Don't really have to talk about it. They're done. I'm done. I started working around the house in the second half. Not even really paying attention to the game. We'll take a break. It's Out of Bounds.
Listen each Friday during Drive Time Sports for the basketball insider in Arkansas. It's Pure Sweat Skills and Training's Bart Reed. Made possible by Martin Orthopedics with locations in Little Rock, North Little Rock, Cabot, and Hot Springs Village. Staffed with fellowship-trained orthopedic surgeons and sports medicine specialists. For more information on the web, go to martinortho.care.
This is Sports Center.
In college football over the weekend, Ole Miss continued their hot streak by beating Georgia 28-10. With that win, they moved up to 10th in the country in the AP poll. We'll see what they are in the college football playoff poll tomorrow night. Alabama dominated LSU, beating them 42-13. Jalen Milroe ran wild, racking up 185 rushing yards with 4 touchdowns on the ground. Nationally, 4th-ranked Miami was upset by Georgia Tech 28-23 for their first loss of the season. In the NFL, the Steelers beat the Commanders 28-27 to improve to 7-2 on the season. On Sunday Night Football, the Lions eked out a 26-23 win over the Texans on a 52-yard Jake Bates field goal as time expired. And tonight in Monday Night Football will feature the Rams hosting the Dolphins at 7:15 on ESPN. Radio coverage can be heard on The Buzz, joined in progress at 8 on 106.7 Buzz 2. I'm Christian Weaver with The Buzz Radio Network.
Brooke here, live from the sports desk. Our number one play comes from the number one Hyundai dealer in Arkansas. Chris Crane Hyundai of Conway, coming in hot with another huge score. Inventory selection to fit any budget. Boom! Look how they say yes. Game-changing action from the winning team at Chris Crane Hyundai of Conway.
Win big with 1.99% financing. New Tucsons and Elantras at Chris Crane Hyundai in Conway and online at chriscranehyundai.com.
What's up, fellas? Clint Sterner here. Look, if you're only middle-aged but wondering why it seems harder to keep up, you're not alone. It may be caused by low testosterone. Testosterone therapy, or TRT, can help you get back to living your best life, but not just any TRT. Not those websites offering only basic treatments and at prices that sound too good to be true. See the provider specialist at Low T Center. They offer advanced personalized treatments with over a decade of experience. At Low T Center, you'll start with a simple test and get your results back in about 25 minutes. So go to lowtcenter.com to book your appointment online. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Charged with a crime? Hire the Lions. There's no one better to protect your pride than our pride of Legal Lions. Exceptional communication and exceptional results in both the negotiating room and the courtroom. Lion Legal, the legal pride of Arkansas. Call 227-ROAR and Lion Legal will come roaring to the rescue.
Have questions about retirement, investments, or your money? Call our financial hotline. Dial 501-381-5228 and leave a voicemail with your specific financial question, and our experts will answer it on the Get Ready for the Future show Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Get your financial questions answered by the pros. 501-381-5228. Call now. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice offered through Independent Advisor Alliance. Independent Advisor Alliance and GenWealth Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Companies are shifting their telephone systems to the cloud, and you should too. ESI eCloud PBX has everything you need. Features like work from anywhere, video calls, and advanced security tools make ESI eCloud PBX one of the best choices for any business. Opt out of the high cost of your traditional phone system and move to the cloud. Sign up for an online demo at nsgdv.com and get your system activated at no charge.
Network Services Group. One call does it all.
Fun Monday edition of Morning Mayhem is in the books. Want to thank Chris Kane as well as Pat Bradley and Bill Vickery for joining the show on Tuesday. The guys will begin to look towards Texas as Bruce James joins us in studio. Rick Schaefer will be on the show, as will John Daly. And JM is back with Baz and Roger coming up 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on 103.7 The Buzz. It's Morning Mayhem.
Out of Bounds on 103.7 The Buzz. Live from the Gwatney Chevrolet studio. Gwatney Chevrolet. Driving, trust every mile. Weekend Recap, brought to you by Fleet Management Services, serving Central Arkansas for over 20 years. They're your small to mid-sized specialist. When you need someone to service your fleet and get your employees back on the road quick, call 501-375-3672.
It was a fun weekend. Saturday was fantastic. Some big games all lived up to the hype. Well, I guess they didn't, the score-wise, it didn't, but it was fun games. Started off with the morning game, watching Texas beat Florida 49-17, and then Georgia Ole Miss. How about the Rebels? 28-10 over Georgia. I did not see that one coming. I picked Georgia to win that game, but for Ole Miss just to manhandle Georgia like they did.
And then it started raining. It was like the rain just complicated it even more for Georgia and what they couldn't do.
Yeah, and it was just like a snowball or an avalanche with Ole Miss, man. It just started rolling. Got to give that backup quarterback a lot of credit, too, for Ole Miss. I mean, Dart, turnover, Georgia scores, goes to the locker room, and I'm thinking it's about to be an avalanche the other way, right? Georgia's about to take control of this game, and the backup comes in there, bam, 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 right down the field, scores a touchdown, ties it up. Dart comes back out, goes back out and plays. That was, man, that backup changed the game. He really, think about it. He could have come in and committed another turnover, and all of a sudden that momentum for Georgia, and you look up and it could be 14-10-0, and Dart's coming out of the locker room.
It says a lot about the talent on that team overall, that you're going to have players that are going to be able to step up in a situation like that when you have the other quarterback coming in and they're talented across the board. You get the ball in their hands, they can do some good things.
And then Alabama in the nightcap took care of LSU 42-13 in the rain also. That was some nasty conditions. Story in this one with Jalen Milroe. 4 touchdowns, 185 yards to probably knock LSU out. I would say they're done. Be difficult. Never say never, but a 9-3 team be on the outside looking in. But that was kind of a playoff game. Had that kind of feel and that atmosphere. And Milroe, man, he dominated that game. Also in the SEC, you had Missouri taking care of Oklahoma. Joe and I were talking about that one earlier. It's the fourth quarter, and it is a 10-9 game. 10-9. Your over-under in this game was 41.5. So you're sitting there at 19 points in the fourth quarter thinking, if you bet the under, I got this one. Or if you bet the over, you're like, I lost this bet. And then things just went nuts. Missouri scored a touchdown, and then Oklahoma gets a touchdown to tie it up. And then they get a Missouri fumble, pick it up, scoop and score. Oklahoma's up by 7. And then Missouri's backup quarterback, Drew Pine, takes them down the field, ties it up. And then Oklahoma's quarterback fumbles. And so he goes from a minute 9 left in the game. Missouri tied it up. And I'm thinking overtime. And then Oklahoma fumbles, and you get a scoop and score the other way. 30-23, Missouri wins, 53 points. You had 5 touchdowns scored in the fourth quarter. That was a nutty game.
It was. And just 4 in the last 3.5 minutes altogether.
Tennessee takes care of Mississippi State 33-14. Vanderbilt ends Missouri's or South Carolina ends Vanderbilt's run. 28-7 was your final in that one. South Carolina and Rocket Sanders, kind of the story in this one. Rocket had 3 touchdowns. He was the co-SEC Player of the Week today with Milroe. So good for Rocket.
That's big time.
Yeah, had a big game against Vanderbilt. Yesterday in the NFL, I thought the Steelers-Commanders game lived up to the hype, Joe. That was a fun game to watch, back and forth. Just gritty performance from both teams. Kind of came down to a very controversial spot. I'll be honest with you, Joe. I bet on your Steelers yesterday. Got 2.5 points, or actually I only got 2 by the time I bet it. And I'm watching the game, but I had the sound down, and I'm watching it, and I see the spot, and I was like, I think that's a bad spot. They probably need to take a look at it. And then they start showing the replay, and the booth is looking at it. And I was like, oh, well, the Commanders are going to get it, the first down, and they're going to go down and kick a field goal, and I'm probably going to push, and I'm not going to win any money. So I was truly unbiased on this. Actually, I was probably more on the Steelers side since I had a little money on it. And I thought they got it wrong. I thought the spot was pretty clear on TV watching it that he had the first down.
Well, initially seeing it in real time and seeing where the line was, it did look like he had it. But when they showed the replay, and it's hard to see down the line, but the fact that they called it a certain way, because when the ref comes running in with the spot, initially I'm thinking the same thing. Oh, that's a bad spot. Like he was up to the yard line at least, if not over. And then when they started showing the replay, his knee is down and the ball is in the opposite hand. So he's trying to bring it over, and he's getting touched as his knee is down. So where the ref, it may have been closer than he spotted it to begin with, but it's one of those calls where if you call it one way, it's going to stand on a replay. Because if they would have called it a first down, it would have been the same result.
The evidence, the video evidence, just wasn't there to support overruling it and changing the spot. The Eagles beat the Cowboys yesterday 34-6, and Jerry Jones, after the game, started talking. He was asked about the sun and curtains, and Jerry just kind of went Jerry on everybody.
He's like, we know where we play.
I don't get this, Joe. As a Cowboys fan, I've seen it now so many times, and they have curtains in place. Why not just use them? Why it is, and it's, people, it's like, well, you play outside and you have the sun. It's just different when you're inside, and your eyes, you know how hard it is to adjust your eyes from one level to, of darkness to the brightness of and all of a sudden being in the sun. It's just almost impossible. I don't get why they just don't pull the curtains back during that time of the day when the sun is at that point and is shining on the field. It makes zero sense.
It can affect the other team as well, but it just so happened in this moment it affected the Cowboys.
Well, it shouldn't affect anybody. That's part of being indoors, right? You're not having to worry about the elements. You're not having to worry about the rain or the cold. You're playing indoors.
Well, they would like to open the stadium whenever they can, and they do it on occasion. So I think that is more about the elements with rain. If they had some ice or something like, they want to be able to play in those conditions and not have to worry about it. But I think, with certain opportunities, they want it to feel as natural as possible. And that's kind of that's kind of where he was going with that.
It's dumb to me. It's just dumb when it affects the play of the game. And you're the ones who built the stadium like that to where, in late fall, at 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock, the sun's going to be at that angle, shining right into the stadium, right onto the field.
It couldn't have happened any worse than it did, though, because you have the receivers basically crossing each other, and one of them's like, that's not for me. And then the other one's like, I can't see it. So it couldn't have been at a worse moment, because if I can't remember who the other receiver or player was.
It was a tight end coming across.
So, if he reaches out to catch the ball, he can actually see it.
Yeah.
But it's because they're crossing each other, too. That complicated it even more.
Well, they got a lot of issues on that team, and the stadium's just is very minor, but good Lord, that's just over and over. And what in the world's going on with the Bears? They have completely just fallen apart.
3 in a row.
19-3. Now, the Patriots have a good defense. I'll give them that. But the Bears at home knocked off by the Patriots, 19-3. Did not see that one coming. Got to give kudos to the Buccaneers. Man, they play hard. Be without their top wide receivers and still find a way to get some points on the board. They scored 20 against the 49ers. They gave San Francisco everything they could handle. I thought Purdy played really well. The 49ers find a way to gut out a road victory, a much-needed road victory, because you're seeing at the same time Arizona taking care of the Jets, and the Jets, in my book, they're done, Joe. They're done. I'm done with them.
In your book,
yeah.
In a lot of people's book.
To 6 points? You go to Arizona, you can only score 6 points with that offense?
Well, they're 3-7 now, so that's where they're done. It's because of the record. It's not about one game or another and what it looked like in one game. They're 3-7.
And it's how they're playing too. They're playing bad too. It's like the Cowboys. The Cowboys are done, but they're playing bad. If they were playing like Tampa Bay, like Tampa Bay's lost 2 in a row, but they're still playing hard. And they're moving the ball without their two best wide receivers. They're still finding a way as a team to compete. And so that's why I would say, even though their record and they're falling behind Atlanta and the other teams in the NFC, they still have a chance if they can get healthy and hang in there. But these other teams, they're just done. The way they're playing, watching them, there's something wrong.
A lot has to do with who they're playing, too. We know Cards, they're playing good. They have the ability to step on the field and beat any team they're on the field with, and it starts with Kyler Murray and the way he's playing right now. They have a dominant receiver in Marvin Harrison Jr. They have a really good tight end in Trey McBride. And then you have to worry about Kyler Murray running around. So you have to worry about the weapons that they have, and not to mention their running backs. James Conner, he's run the ball good. So they have a lot to worry about when you face that team offensively. And then their defense shows up, makes plays.
That's the fewest points they've allowed all year. That's why the Jets are done. The Bears score more points than the Jets against them. And the Bears are done.
I don't know if they're done, but over these last 3 games, they've undone all the good that they had going on. They've lost 3 in a row. At one time in that division, everyone's above 500, including the Bears, who were at the bottom. But they've lost 3 in a row, and now they're under 500.
Yeah, well, they have a lot of ground to make up if they want to try to get that last playoff spot. You got Washington 7-3, Minnesota 7-2, Green Bay 6-3. So, they're 2 games behind their next closest. The good thing is they can play some of these teams and make up some of that ground. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll check out the D3 Auto Sales text line. Oh, we need to grade our handicappers out and see how Joe and I did. Not a good week for picking games for me. I'll give you that. Stick around. It's Out of Bounds.
This month at Gwatney Chevrolet, you could be eligible to make no payments for 90 days. That's right, qualified buyers don't pay on new purchases at Gwatney Chevrolet until 2025. If you're in the market for a new Chevy car, truck, or SUV, now is the perfect time to buy. It could be yours with no payments until next year. Want to find out if you qualify? Give Gwatney Chevrolet a call at 501-982-2102 or come see us at 1301 TP White Drive in Jacksonville. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
The holiday season is here, and this is the start of something fun. It's a season centered on when to shop, when to wrap, when to open presents. But at Academy Sports and Outdoors, it's all about where, because the best holiday fun happens out there, on the driveway with a new basketball hoop, out back around the fire pit, or up in the deer stand. Because however you shop, no matter your fun, we've got it. The right stuff at the right price, in-store and online at academy.com. Academy. Have fun out there.
If you are looking for a safe and loving home for you or your loved one, visit Heartland Rehabilitation and Care Center. Just 15 minutes from Little Rock and Benton, our skilled nursing staff is dedicated to providing quality long-term care and short-term therapy. Visit heartlandrehabcenter.com. You can call Heartland home.
This is the Pigskin Preacher, bringing you the word. Oscar Wilde describes a cynic as one who knows the price of everything and the value of nothing. This came to mind recently when I learned that the mercurial singer Morrissey was coming to Little Rock. For the low price of $150, a ticket can be yours. My first concert was in 1982 in Detroit with Van Halen. Tickets were $10. Suddenly, I feel old. If Morrissey shows, which sometimes he doesn't, it will be worth it if you like that sort of thing. Now, if you like the sort of things like eating, drinking, and driving around, Doublebee's is definitely worth it. Our 34 locations have the things you need for the prices you deserve. In these inflationary times, Doublebee's comes through for you. Doublebee's. It's where you gas it, grab it, and go. That's Doublebee's.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Listen for Champs and Chumps Fridays during the Zone, brought to you by D.R. Horton, America's #1 home builder, currently building homes in Maumelle and Alexander. Find them online at drhorton.com. D.R. Horton is an equal housing builder.
Ethan Bates, Conference USA Player of the Year here for HJ Trailer Sales. It's finally fall, my favorite time of the year. Well, okay, except for maybe baseball season. When I need a dependable trailer to get in and out of the woods, there's no better place than at HJ Trailer Sales in Hot Springs. From sales to repairs, HJ Trailer Sales keeps me ready all hunting season long. Being from Hot Springs, it doesn't hurt that they're my hometown trailer store. Family owned and operated. Go to hjtrailersales.com or on Facebook.
Out of Bounds, live from the Gwatney Chevrolet studio.
It was a rough weekend for our handicappers. Maybe the worst. It was the worst weekend for Brian Edwards. Brian gave us 8 picks. He went 1-6-1.
Whoa.
Ooh. Yeah. Not a good one. That ends his streak of 1, 2, 3, 4 straight weeks of winning. 1-6-1. He missed on the Commanders in Pittsburgh, missed on Indiana. That one surprised me a little bit. Michigan put up a fight. I thought Indiana was going to blow out Michigan, and Indiana was in a dogfight. They won the game, but not like and they came out smoking. I mean, I thought they were about to blow them out of there, but Michigan came back on them, made it a ball game. Missed on Vandy, South Carolina. Cincinnati, West Virginia, that was a bad loss. LSU, Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss, missed all those. And Lee Sterling, not much better. In fact, just as bad. Lee was gave us 5 games, 1-4. Only game he had right was Texas. 41. He had Texas 41-13 over Florida, pretty close to the score, but he missed on OU, Missouri. Look, that was back and forth, crazy game, could have gone either way. South Carolina, Vandy, he had Vandy. Georgia, Ole Miss, Alabama, LSU. So both our guys agreed on LSU and Georgia, and both missed it. And for those who follow Lee, they know it was a rough weekend for him overall. 3-9 on his 12 picks. Bounce back, had a decent day in the NFL yesterday, but college football. I bet the casinos, I bet the guys at Bet Saracen had a good weekend.
Yeah, there are going to be days like that happen where they're going to take a hit, but that's why you keep doing it, though. You hope for those better days, and they've had better days, and they realize that that's not going to last forever.
And that's a prime example of why you bet reasonably. Be responsible so that when you have a bad weekend like that, it's not crushing. For me and Joe had a good weekend. 6-4 with the 10 picks. I had a bad weekend.
That's
3-7.
All right. All right.
Compared to 3-7, it looks like a good weekend. Take a 4-game lead now.
Yes.
It was 1, now 3 more.
Yeah. It's overall 67-33, 63-37.
Georgia, LSU, those killed me Saturday. You got both. No, you had LSU too. That's right. All right, coming up in the third hour, Joe Klein's going to join us, so we can talk some Razorback basketball with him, talk some more NFL. Chiefs win on a blocked field goal. That was crazy. What an ending to that game. That was a fun game to watch, too. All right, we'll come back with Joe Klein. Stick around. It's Out of Bounds.
The king of Arkansas sports talk, Randy Rainwater for Bet Saracen.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my Double R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Fall in Arkansas. It's Friday Night Lights, tailgates, sweater weather. You know it. The Crane team knows it. From pickup and delivery to service after the sale, every vehicle with the Crane team name is committed to your satisfaction. And with 17 locations and America's favorite brands, you can worry less about how you'll get there and just enjoy the moment. Visit us today or shop over 3,500 new vehicles online at craneteam.com.
Tune in each day to Drive Time Sports to hear Trey Biddy talk all things Razorbacks. Brought to you by Chris Crane Hyundai, Arkansas's #1 Hyundai dealer, and Genesis of Conway, Arkansas's only Genesis dealer. Genesis of Conway, the future of luxury today.
Radio for Arkansas Sports Geeks by Arkansas Sports Geeks. All day, every day. 103.7 The Buzz. KABZ Little Rock. Buzz News with KARK's Claire Kreitz.
In Camden, police arrest the person they say shot several rounds, damaging property in the area. Police say calls for shots fired came in near Agee Avenue and McCullough Street Friday afternoon around 4:30. When police got there, they found one person with 2 guns. Officers took that suspect into custody after they say the suspect fired shots at cars and a utility pole. No injuries were reported. The Rev Room in Little Rock helped kick off a new campaign for Called to Duty. It's a nonprofit that helps veterans dealing with substance abuse. The group behind it hopes to bring awareness to their struggles and find ways the community can help them. Call to Duty provides veterans with resources they need to overcome addictions. If you or someone you know needs help, we have a link on our website, krk.com. This is Claire Kreitz for the Buzz Radio Network.
Join the Zone Thursday at Lumber One Design One on Colonel Glenn Road. Whether it's a small DIY project or a brand new build, Lumber One Design One is your one-stop destination.
Weather from the Fletcher Weather Center. Buzz Weather with KARK's Pat Walker.
Happy Veterans Day. It's going to be a beautiful day. A high of 71 degrees, mostly sunny, and a north wind of 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear, kind of chilly, with a light north-northeast wind. We'll have an overnight low of 48 degrees. For the Buzz Radio Network, I'm meteorologist Pat Walker.
Fletcher Dodge wants to buy your car. We'll buy any make or model, and we'll pay you more than anyone else. Please, turn your old car into cash at Fletcher Dodge in Sherwood.
Roger Scott is at it again with his Razorback Song of the Week, presented by Dr. Jimmy Tucker at Ortho, Arkansas. Join Morning Mayhem each week as the smooth, dulcet tones of Roger Scott bring you his Razorback Song of the Week. It's all brought to you by Dr. Jimmy Tucker at Ortho, Arkansas, and your fun and game station, 103.7 The Buzz.
This November, hold the cranberry sauce and pass the savings instead, because Gwatney Buick GMC in North Little Rock is offering Black Friday savings all month long. Call 501-945-4444. Brand new Buick Encore GX starting at just $21,900, plus available 0.9%. Gwatney Buick GMC is not making you wait. The deals are here now. New Hummer SUVs, $10,000 off MSRP. Do your holiday travels in a new Yukon XL with $10,500 off MSRP. Get new Sierras with 0% interest. No payments on anything until next year. These deals couldn't get any better if they were covered in gravy. It's Black Friday all month long at Gwatney Buick GMC, 5700 Landers Road in North Little Rock. Call 501-945-4444. GwatneyBuickGMC.com. GMC, we are professional grade. That number is 30096 0242 30508. All offers with approved credit.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
See Dan Cook in North Little Rock, Steve Fisher in Stuttgart, or Jay Vandover in Little Rock.
With tens of thousands of satisfied patients across America, it's no surprise QC Kinetics gets 5-star reviews.
I'm feeling on top of the world because of QC Kinetics.
I'm able to do the things that I wasn't able to do for a long time.
I can recommend them highly. I would recommend QC to anybody. QC Kinetics has changed my life.
I couldn't believe it. I honestly was skeptical, but the pain went from a 10 to a 0.
Real people with real lasting relief from joint pain.
QC Kinetics Regenerative Medicine is regenerating me.
I'm super successful, and I recommend everyone seek out QC Kinetics as an alternative to surgery.
This non-surgical approach is definitely the future.
I tell as many people as possible. I am an ambassador. I love QC Kinetics.
QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in advanced regenerative medicine. No drugs, no surgery. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 501-222-8440. That's 501-222-8440. 501-222-8440.
Are you ready to take your classic car or vintage 4x4 to the next level? Look no further than Overland Auto Restoration in Cabot. Our team of restoration experts have decades of experience in preserving the beauty and heritage of classic vehicles for our clients all across the country. From modern mechanical upgrades that enhance performance to new upholstery and paint, Overland ensures every detail is handled with care and completed right on time. Call Overland Auto Restoration in Cabot at 501-246-4372 or visit overlandautoworks.com and let us get your classic ride back on the road, looking and driving better than ever.
At the Home Depot, we know Saturdays are for college football. That's why we have everything you need to never miss a play. Like North America's #1 home fire safety brand, Kidda. Because on a day full of football sounds you love, like fight songs, roaring crowds, and your favorite commentators...
like me, Kirk Herbstreit.
The last sound you want to hear is... Defend your game time with Kidda and the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Based on total household installations as of December 2023.
FX's English teacher.
Every single one of these essays is so bad.
An F? What is this?
With grades like this, I'm gonna have to hit the corner, sir.
From executive producers of What We Do in the Shadows.
Who's running the school? Is it us or is it them?
Them.
Go sit next to Tiffany.
She told me it was offensive to learn Mandarin, because you're not Japanese.
FX's English teacher is now streaming on Hulu. All new Mondays on FX.
Live from the Gwatney Chevrolet Studio, this is Out of Bounds with Wes Moore and Joe Franklin on 103.7 The Buzz. Weekend Recap, brought to you by Fleet Management Services, serving Central Arkansas for over 20 years. They're your small to mid-size specialist. When you need someone to service your fleet and get your employees back on the road quick, call 501-375-3672.
Hour number 3, Wes Moore, Joe Franklin, Joe Klein hanging out with us. What's up, Joe?
Which Joe?
You.
I can't hear myself.
You can't?
Not very good.
Okay.
Is that any better? There we go.
Good deal.
Yeah,
how you doing?
Good, man. Good to see you guys.
How about your Chiefs last night?
Never a doubt, baby.
What a way to win.
Yeah, pull a rabbit out of her hat, man. I mean, when you got a good defense, you're always hanging around.
Mm-hmm.
And good things, if you make a play, and they made a play, and they made it at the end of the game, and find yourself winning the game, and it's like, right now they're living on house money, baby. They're rolling.
What I loved was the reaction from Patrick Mahomes after the game. Like a little kid out there running around celebrating the victory.
Well, they thought, when you think it's done, when you think it's a done deal and you're not going to win, and then all of a sudden you get a gift. That's usually how you act.
and there was something to it. It was a great call because not only did one player get in, it was about 5 guys that could have blocked that.
Well, they said they saw something. These guys, these guys, they research everything, and Andy Reid after the game said, "Well, we saw something, and we tried to exploit it." And he goes, "Well, now we never thought it was going to work like that," but he said we definitely, had a plan to try to do something. So, what that was, I have no idea, but. What?
It used it at the right time too.
Yeah, we'll take it. It's just, and what's funny is they talk about how bad Patrick Mahomes is playing, and he had like 270 yards passing.
Oh yeah,
and one TD and no interceptions, and they're like, he's just not playing very good right now. It's like, he's not killing it like he was when he had all those weapons, but he's still pretty dang good.
Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Brock Purdy saved my weekend. I just told you how bad of a weekend it was for some of the gamblers. It was on Bet Saracen, all three of those to pass for more than 250 yards at plus 850.
Whoa.
Oh.
And I was like, I think that could happen. I know Mahomes has been struggling a little bit, but I'm going to roll with it. And they all three went over 250, so that saved my weekend.
That was a great call on your part too.
Yeah. And the only reason I did it is a buddy of mine who was also down on his luck. It's like, hey, take a look at these futures. Do you see anything you like? And I was like, that one jumped out, and I was like, I think it's worth a shot. Those are three good quarterbacks. Tampa's defense has been susceptible, to the pass, and Josh Allen, I don't care who he's playing, he's got that chance.
Well, and you're not going to run for 200 on Denver's defense.
Yep.
So you're going to have to throw it against Denver.
Well, and then every time I saw Denver score and kind of pull away, I'm like, they're going to have to throw the ball more and more and more. And then fourth quarter, Mahomes with the ball, he's going to get some yards.
Yeah. So, like I said, man, I've been a Chiefs fan my whole life, and for most of my life, it's been the other. We're the ones getting the kick blocked. Until about 5 years ago, when old boy showed up, we were the ones getting the kick blocked. So, I don't know what to say anymore. It's just kind of like, I'll take it. I'm gonna ride with it, and enjoy it.
Yep.
For as long as it lasts. Because you never know. But again, I was just sitting there, I was just shaking my head. I didn't know. I didn't even yell or anything. I was just like, this is unbelievable.
Well, kudos to the coaching staff, that special teams coach, whoever saw and designed that, because, it was.
Yeah. Yeah, the details of those cats and all that stuff, all their defense and their schemes, and, they think about doing stuff and see stuff and scheming stuff that you don't even know they're doing it.
What'd you think of the basketball team?
I thought it was okay. I think like everybody, I didn't like how they attacked the zone in the first half. I thought they were kind of lethargic. The player movement wasn't very good. But again, I like the defensive effort. I like their wanting to get out and run. I thought they played hard. I mean, you can see they got some athletes.
Mm-hmm.
They got to make some shots, man. I mean, I don't know, what are they, 9 for 39 their first 2 games or something? It's like, I think they were 4 out of 19 versus Lipscomb and 5 out of 20 against, I'm not sure, but it's not very good. It's in the mid-20s or something like that. And so, they got to start making shots. And when you don't make shots, as we've seen in the past, basketball's hard when you can't shoot it. and they sat back in a zone and John L. Davis, I think he was 0 for 5, and he had good looks. And
yes.
He's their best shooter. And so, he's got to get it going, and he will get it going. And I think this team's a work in progress. And it's a work in progress. I hear a lot of Kentucky people going like, we heard this, and you get on Twitter or somewhere, and they're showing how great Kentucky is. Well, Kentucky's not playing Kansas, TCU, Baylor, Lipscomb, with all due respect to Kentucky. Pope's a good coach, and they're passing it, and they're talking about, this belongs in the Louvre and all this stuff, and look at this pattern and how great it is. Let's see. They're getting ready to roll up against Duke. Let's see how this, let's see how it works with that. And again, I think they're going to be very good. He's a very good coach, but everybody right now is trying to put it together. And Cal's playing he's played a tough first four games again against very good teams. And so I think these next 4, there's a little bit of a, lesser talented teams playing to where maybe you can start getting some continuity, start getting some confidence shooting the ball, see the ball go in, and kind of gain some momentum and a little bit, again, like I said, some confidence to where when you play that next really tough team, which is Illinois, I believe, right at Thanksgiving, you're gonna be feeling a little bit better about what you got going on.
You were right.
If they see that zone again, how would you like to see them attack it with the personnel they have?
Well, Joe, in coaching and when I coached for 8 years, we would somebody would throw a hands-up Harry 2-3 zone at us, and you would think the Los Angeles Lakers walked out there. It's the damnedest thing you ever seen in your life sometimes. Somebody goes through a zone at a timeout, and your players are like, oh my God, what do we do? It's like, it's not man-to-man. It's not what we're used to seeing over and over again. And there's 3 places the ball has to go versus a zone, against any zone. It's got to go to the free throw line. You got to get guys flashing into the free throw line or cutting through the free throw line. And it's got to get to the short corners, a little bit behind the basket. So if you get it to the free throw line, you're hoping to get people to turn and look, and you can collapse it, then you can spray it. And now you got wide open shots where you got guys running at you. It's easier to get by them and get back into the paint. If you get it down on the baseline, flattens the zone out. Everybody turns and is looking towards the baseline. Now you can get cutters and people going behind it. But the ball has to go to those 3 places. What I saw in the first half, the ball was going, passing it to the wing, passing it back up to the point, passing it over to the other wing, passing it back up to the point, passing it over here, back up to the point. Then it was, you know what?
Shoot it.
There's 10 seconds on the shot clock. And I think in the second half they did a lot better job of flashing people into the high post area, and they weren't holding the ball. If you catch the ball and hold it versus the zone, everybody shifts and sits down right in front of you. You got to catch it, drive, shoot. You got to have a rhythm to it. It's like Phil Jackson used to always talk about rhythm. And basically what it was is when you get the ball, be ready to do something with it. Don't get it and hold it and dribble it and go between your legs and don't go anywhere. Attack a gap, swing the ball, shoot it, one of those 3 things. But be ready to play. And a lot of times against the zone, guys catch it and hold it. All 5 guys shift over and sit down in front of you, and there's nowhere to go.
So isn't that the basis of triangle offense where everyone should be taught that and know when to use it.
Yeah. I mean, you be where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. That's the rhythm of the offense. That's, what there's a million words for it. And sometimes a guy's holding the ball versus a zone or an offense because people aren't where they're supposed to be. People aren't cutting. People aren't screening. People aren't doing so your continuity's not any good. So the guy with the ball is standing there having to hold it and wait, and then everybody in defense, gets in position. When you see a good offensive team, the ball hits sides of the floor. It goes inside out, and it's moving, and it's got it's not sticking. And when it sticks, unless you got a LeBron James or you got some dude that's just can whip whoever you put in front of him, and a lot of those guys don't exist. You got to shift the defense, get them moving, get them tacking, get them talking, guys cutting through, so they're having to look and point and do all these things. And then that's when you can break it down and drive it and get it in there. Or if somebody can flash and you can throw it in there, and then you got them. Then you can play out of that. You want defense to play catch up. You want to get them in a help situation or get the ball inside to where they're trying to catch up with the ball and run at the ball. You're going to have a shot or a drive. You got them at your mercy.
You were right. Arkansas finished 5 of 20 from the 3-point line.
They had good looks, man.
They started 0 for 9.
I mean, yeah.
They made 5 out of their last 11. If you're looking for something bright,
I mean, I'm not sure, but Nelly Davis, who was 42 last year with FAU. I mean, he had 3 wide open looks in the first.
One at the end of the game was.
I mean, he had. I know in the first half it ain't getting no better than what he had. I mean, and I know he's had some wrists and some things going on, but I mean, if he can get looks like that, and he knocks those down, they may come out of the zone. They may not like the zone. They may try to change it up, but credit to them, they're like, hey man, this is for them to have changed their defense after the first half. Would have been crazy.
What do you think Jonas Adu can add to this team once they get him going?
I think he's and it's not a good term because he's better than that. But you kind of think of you don't want to say a garbage player because he's better than that. But he's a paint. I mean, he's a block shot guy. He's a offensive rebound guy. He's a dish guy, a lob guy. He can make a little 10, 15-footer. That kind of guy that he can play. If you can get guys like last year, he was with Connect and Ziegler. Those guys were getting in the lane. Those guys were causing matchup problems. And he feasted on the weak side of the floor, getting offensive rebounds. He feasted just kind of rolling into the middle of the lane and shooting that little floater that he can shoot, from 5 to 7 feet. He can really, play off of other people really good, and he's a very good defender. He's a good rim protector, a good rebounder.
I like Adu Thero a lot. That dude's so athletic and just nonstop motor. A lot of good things happen with him.
And watching him a little bit last year and this year, the thing I like about him, if he's got 20 points. If you come in late to a game and you sit down and watch, and he's got 2 points or 20 points, you can't tell because his effort's the same. I mean, it's not like, man, I'm rolling tonight and I've got some juice. That brother's always got some juice, man. He's got some juice, and he's got some athletic ability. I mean, you saw some of the blocks he had and things like that, and he tried to go with old boy, the other boy, the dude from Baylor, the 6'7" freshman dude.
Edgecombe.
Yeah, the freshman.
Yeah.
I mean, but Theo ain't afraid. I mean, he went in there and he got it put back in his face, but
he's still going to go at it, though.
Yeah, he popped up, and it was like, all right, you got me, but I'm coming back.
They called a foul.
Yeah, it wasn't a foul. Now, that was clean.
Yeah, that was a big-time block.
Yeah.
That was big-time, 2 athletes going at it right there. Boogie Flan through a couple games. Real deal.
Been real solid, man, for a freshman. Been very impressed with him as a freshman, and a freshman that has the ball in his hands. I mean, he's a freshman point guard, and he's making good decisions. I think his assist to turnover is very, very good for a freshman.
What was 7-0 against Baylor?
Yeah, I mean, he's he's just going to get better too, and you'll see as they come together more as a team and get more comfortable with each other and get more used to playing with each other. He's just going to get better. I mean, he's trying to figure it out right now, and God help everybody when he does figure it out, because I think he's going to be something special.
Big Z seemed to struggle a little bit in this game. What were they doing to him?
Well, it's a zone. Zones are tendency, but again, he's got to be active. He gets to standing around a little bit, and he's got to flash and show and make himself available. I mean, he gets to where he kind of, he'll pick and pop or pick and roll or kind of stand there on the baseline and things like that. And I mean, he's got at his size, he's got to flash and make himself available, especially against the zone. He can't. I was watching him, the first half, he's kind of just sitting back there on the baseline, kind of just hanging out. The ball's up there at the top. He's got to, again, flash in there to the middle of the lane, make himself available, and demand the ball. I mean, he's got to show that he wants the ball. I think he gets to where he's watching a little bit too much. And, it's like I always told him, I was like, I can't, if you come over and tell me that they're not getting you the ball and you're not posting up and calling for it and showing for it and begging for it and making yourself available, I wouldn't throw you the ball either. You got to show people. It's like I told a couple guys when I was playing in college, if they didn't throw me the ball, I was going to get 3 seconds in the lane, because if I didn't shoot it, ain't nobody shooting it. So I was like, you better throw me the damn ball or you're going to get a turnover or something. But I mean, that's the mentality he's got to have, because he's big. He's big now, man. I've stood next to him a couple of times, and he's long, and the thing that worries me about him is he is a great three-point shooter. He can really shoot it for his size, and that's great. But you're 7'2", dude. Know where your home is.
Mm-hmm.
Your home's in the paint. Be a paint player first who can shoot threes, not a three-point guy that can occasionally post up.
We know that Arkansas is playing good competition in these games. What did you think of what you saw from Baylor overall?
Well, I mean, after the butt kicking they took, I mean, they got humiliated, and I thought they really showed some fight and some determination. Like their guard play, like I can never say his name, the kid that played
Norchad Omir.
Yeah, I mean, he's a bull in a china shop, man. He plays with some, he's fierce.
15 and 12.
Yeah, and I mean, he and a lot of those things, a lot of what he does, nothing is run for him. He's getting it on his own, and he's a bull now. He comes at you, he plays hard, and he attacks you, and he gives them a presence in there, and he's an older guy that gives them some leadership and some things like that. But I was very impressed. I was very, very impressed with that freshman. I thought he wasn't just out there playing offense and trying to score and make highlights. I think he was very good defensively, very good rebounding. I thought he made good decisions when he had the ball. I mean, there's so many teams that in basketball that could make a run at winning it all, and I think they're one of them. I mean, they're going to be as good as anybody come the end of the year.
What did you think of the Auburn team flight that had to be turned around because of what do they call it? What was it?
They had a scuffle. They said a scuffle.
Horseplay. That was it. Horseplay.
Yeah, that wasn't horseplay. They wouldn't have turned it around if it was horseplay. So, yeah, that's where that's where your broom and your leadership, your guys that have been around, have got to get a hold of those two dudes and go, look, man. And I guarantee you, Bruce Pearl has to. And it's like, you're going to get on board and act right, or we're going to move on without you. So, obviously there's something there. What it could be, who knows? But again, those things don't just happen. like to that nature. There's something going on. Something happened in practice, or something happened somewhere, and it festered. Those things aren't. You get on the plane and call the guy a name and then you fight. There's something festering there, and Bruce Pearl's he's top notch. He'll get that squished real quick.
There was something that happened with them a few years ago, and now it's come back around.
Yeah. It's like you got to grow up, man. You got to grow up, and you got to handle things the right way. Obviously, very immature, and again, as a team and as team leaders, you got to get a hold of that. You got to be on top of that as players, and you got to be on top of that as coaches.
All right, when we come back, we'll take a look at what's trending. We'll take a look at some of the NFL stories from yesterday. Stick around. It's Out of Bounds.
Edwards Food Giant presents Razorback Baseball color analyst and Drop Time Sports co-host Rick Schaefer every Tuesday morning on Morning Mayhem. Rick will share his special take on Razorback sports with the guys each week. Edwards Food Giant, the meat people, the only stop you'll ever have to make for your family's groceries.
This is Sports Center.
Arkansas basketball fell to Baylor in Dallas 72-67. Adu Thiero was a standout performer as he had 24 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal and a block on 10 of 15 from the floor. The Razorbacks will try to get back in the win column on Wednesday as they host the Trojans of Troy. For further updates on the men's basketball team, listen to Live with Coach Cal tonight on The Buzz. Around the state in college basketball, Little Rock fell to Winthrop 82-67. They'll take on Arkansas State tomorrow. Arkansas State lost a competitive game against Alabama 88-79 on Friday. Arkansas Pine Bluff lost to Tulsa 103-80. They'll face South Florida tomorrow. And Central Arkansas lost to Utah 98-63 on Friday night. They'll host Randall University on Wednesday. I'm Christian Weaver with the Buzz Radio Network.
The king of Arkansas sports talk, Randy Rainwater for Bet Saracen.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Brooke here, live from the sports desk. Our number one play comes from the number one Hyundai dealer in Arkansas. Chris Crane Hyundai of Conway, coming in hot with another huge score. Inventory selection to fit any budget. Boom! Look how they say yes. Game-changing action from the winning team at Chris Crane Hyundai of Conway.
Win big with 1.99% financing. New Tucsons and Elantras at Chris Crane Hyundai in Conway and online at chriscranehyundai.com.
Hungry for a winning lunch? Come down to Brewski's for mouth-watering smash burgers, fresh salads, or a tasty sandwich. Catch all the action on their big screens with unbeatable lunch specials starting at just $10.99. And speedy service will have you back to work in no time. Bring your friends and your appetite and enjoy the delicious lunch options at Brewski's. Now with 2 locations, downtown and North Little Rock. Brewski's, your home for lunch, happy hour, and late night.
Every day, we do one thing, and we do it at the highest level. We formed Arkansas Urology more than 25 years ago, and ever since, our world-class team has gained experience and expertise in every aspect of urology. Today, you'll find our state-of-the-art facilities across Arkansas, where the latest technologies are used in innovative ways by skilled specialists who are dedicated to one thing, improving lives every day. Schedule your appointment at arkansasurology.com.
Honda of North Little Rock is under new ownership. You owe it to yourself to come see the newly remodeled showroom as it's overflowing with new and used inventory of Honda and Yamaha ATVs and motorcycles. Don't miss out on the great deals. Meet the new owners and GM, Al Hanmaker. That's Honda of North Little Rock, 4524 MacArthur Drive.
This is David Dunn with Central Arkansas Truck and Trailer. Did you know that we also offer mobile diagnostic service and repair? Equipment broke down? The check engine light on? We will come to you with the latest computer software and expert technicians to repair your truck on the spot. If it does need to come to our shop, we will arrange to pick it up. Let Central Arkansas Truck and Trailer take care of all your service and repair needs at your place or ours. That's 501-568-2185.
Injured? Let's talk about getting help now.
Anywhere in the state, dial 888-8888.
Whether injured at night, on a weekend, or a holiday,
dial 8 for Rainwater, Holtz, and Sexton.
888-8888.
Responsible attorneys Michael Rainwater and Bob Sexton.
Out of Bounds on 103.7 The Buzz. Live from the Gwatney Chevrolet studio. Gwatney Chevrolet. Driving, trust every mile.
It's beautiful, it's bittersweet. You're like a broken home to me. My ticket.
What's Trending in Sports is brought to you by Arkansas's own West Rock Coffee. Join West Rock Coffee, the Razorbacks, and their 1.5 million farmers around the globe. It's fall, so now it's time for your team to stock up on coffee, tea, and water delivered directly to your business. Contact them at westrockcoffee.com or 833-886-JAVA today.
Young makes a move and flips it to the end zone. Touchdown! There's the third rookie, Jatavian Sanders. And the Panthers score first here in Munich. 36-yard attempt to win it. Pinheiro kicks it through. And the Panthers have won.
Saw today where they're non-committal on Daniel Jones as the quarterback. They were asked. It's like we're going to be evaluating all positions.
Yeah, you get to this time of the year and you realize you're not going anywhere. You have to do that. That has to be the approach.
Think they'd like a do-over?
Yes. I think a lot of teams would like a do-over.
I don't understand on a lot of these contracts for these quarterbacks. I don't understand, why you don't go the whole 9 yards with the franchise tags and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why they like Trevor Lawrence and you got him for 3 more years. If you wanted to franchise him and do all that, I just
and quarterbacks aren't typically the players that are going to buck the system on that.
Right.
You know how other players, receivers, they're going to hold out to say they're not going to sign the franchise tag. Quarterbacks aren't going to do
and
that.
I didn't understand Dak. If you're going to wait that long, let it ride.
Yeah.
Let it ride through the season. And if in March you come up and say, "Hey man, we got $60 million for you," I think he's going to be like, "All right,
okay,
cool."
I'll take it.
Yeah, so if you hadn't gotten him locked up early and you waited that long, I would have just rolled the dice and said, "Let's see." I don't know.
What was is there a controversial call in the
No.
Giants?
It was an international game in Munich, Germany, so Sean Hockey made the call in German.
Fehlstart, Angriff. Oh. 5 Yards treffen. It's by the center. It's third down.
Oh, Sean Hockey hooked on phonics.
Showing up.
That's
so
awesome.
Giants Panthers. It was a false start. That's what the call was.
So does he speak German or he just learned it for that call?
I'm not sure.
Did he do all calls?
That was cool though.
Did he do all the calls?
No, I don't think he did.
All right, now then, hey. So if you learned German for offsides and you hadn't called an offsides in its third quarter, man, somebody gonna jump. If I learned how to do that, I'm throwing a flag on somebody. I got this German in my back pocket that I'm dying to use.
Joe, for you.
Mahomes caught for the touchdown. There it is. The all-time Chiefs leading touchdown receiver. From Mahomes. Kick to win it. Oh! Blocked! The Chiefs have won! The Chiefs have won!
I'm getting way too old for you. Listen, great job of sticking with it. Leo, George, whoever it was. Leo. Hey, listen, how about those Chiefs? All right, so we're back on normal schedule. We start up get your treatments, all that stuff. We're rolling. Got a good Buffalo team. We'll get there. I'm proud of you guys for just hanging with it. And Leo, I'll treat you to a cheeseburger.
Today, baby, all phases. Kick the feet up. This is relaxation time. Let's go for it. 3, 2, 1, 2.
He's still smiling.
Yeah.
Joe, this is for you.
Wilson hooks a pass, looking, end zone! George Pickens climbs the ladder for the touchdown! 3rd and long. Wilson floats it way upstairs. Williams, he's got it! Touchdown!
Assume you weren't going to go for it there on 4th down. You're trying to draw.
We'll never know, will we? You know I'm a degenerate.
So after that call with Commanders, they got the ball back actually, and Steelers have it, and it's 4th and 1 for them. They go back on the field, put the offense on the field, and I'm thinking the entire time, and I know everybody has to be thinking, there's no way they're going to snap this ball. They're just going out there to go through the motion. Clock is going to run down. They're going to punt it. Commanders jumped offside, and it was game over.
Game.
Let me tell you what, dude can coach. I'm just telling you, man, right now. I mean, that guy. I mean, to change quarterbacks, and he could see it. I mean, he obviously could see that Russell Wilson was going to be a better fit and be better for them. But to be 4-2 and have the to pull your quarterback for a guy who's coming up was not very good last year and's been injured, and but I mean, again, that's why he's one of the best ever. I mean, that guy, and they're you talk about under the radar. That is a big time under the radar team.
Not on this show, Joe. I've been talking about the Steelers now for 3 weeks. Yeah. How impressed I am.
I can tell you right now, I want no part of them. I don't want any part.
I'm kind of like you are, though. I'm like, let's temper the expectations.
Yeah, but I've been down this road with the Steelers before through my first 45 years or 50 years as a Chiefs fan, and it never, ever once ended up good.
Listen to this stat. Russell Wilson is 2 touchdown passes away from having the most touchdowns in the season for the Steelers since Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah. Which wasn't too long ago. But also, he has a record going right now that is the longest streak in the league of at least 1 touchdown in every game. And it's 20-something, but that's the longest active streak going.
You can count on him. He's going to get it done. Tomlin, on comparisons to Lamar Jackson?
Man, be real slow comparing people to Lamar Jackson. That's a multi-time MVP. That's Mr. Jackson. We'll see Mr. Jackson in a few days.
So he was asked about Jaden Daniels and kind of the comparisons there, and that's why he's like, no, let's slow down on that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Purdy all day. Can't find anyone. Sets his feet, rolling end zone for Kittle. Oh, did he come down? He did! Touchdown! Jake Moody to win it from 44. Kick is up, and it is up and through. It's good. The 49ers win it.
Let me bring him in. Just played his highlights. 49er John, what's up?
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing?
It's a good day.
Good.
Good. Hey, that game, I will admit, it was nerve-wracking because, look, we held Baker Mayfield to, 116 yards passing? And the field goal kicker that I love, Jake Moody, missed 3 field goals. This is the first time the 49ers has ever won a game when they field goal kicker missed 3 field goals in one game. That was a triumph win right there. That was a win. Yesterday was win by any means necessary. It wasn't pretty by no means for just about any team, but speaking for the 49ers, hey, that was a gut check win right there.
Had to have
We needed that.
Yep.
We needed that. And I paid attention to the Dallas game for one reason. Wes, you familiar with football pools?
Yes.
Yeah. I had that 4-6 on the Dallas game, so I had a hell of a day yesterday.
Uh-oh. Nice.
Hell of a day yesterday. As well as Vegas didn't kick my butt yesterday. I took the Steelers, which I don't know why people thought Washington was going to win because the the coach owns every rookie he's played, as well as he goes against that boy Baltimore quarterback every week. So nothing Washington quarterback was going to show him that they hadn't seen. So why would anybody bet on Washington?
You're a bad spot away from losing that game.
What? Even if Washington would have came down and cover, I still had it at what I did the teaser. So I was good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a teaser guy.
I had two, and I thought it was going to be a push. So I felt like I got lucky.
I wasn't worried about that Pittsburgh game at all. Pittsburgh own rookies. And hey Wes, you talking that Texas talk. Don't go on Beth Saracen when they play A&M. I want that action.
Okay.
I want that action.
Okay.
Since you think A&M is going to be, I want that action. Whatever you want to take. We'll talk about that. You know I'm a gambling man.
Okay.
We'll definitely take that.
We got about 3 weeks.
Yeah. And listen, Brock Purdy, I just say this. Detroit Lions are y'all darlings. Most everybody darlings in the NFC. If what I saw last night, I take Brock Purdy over Jared Goff any day.
Texans took it to him last night. I'll give them that.
Y'all
Texans played
y'all
well.
can have that lovely Detroit pick. I cannot wait till the 49ers play them. All this Detroit love, which deservedly so. They won one. They lost one game, but I'm taking Jared Goff in the big game over Brock Purdy. I'm taking Brock Purdy in the NFC over any quarterback this year, right now. I love the 49er chances. And one other thing, guys, I'm proud to say that my niece is playing her first basketball game at 5:30 today, and I will be there screaming my niece's name.
Good luck.
Me and all the 49er fans, we're going to support my niece.
There you go.
Good luck to you. We got to run. Let's bring in these calls real quick before we hit the break. What's up, Corn Dog?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey,
Big
Corn Dog.
Joe.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, Tomlin's a heck of a coach, and so is Andy Reid, man.
Yeah.
They're both, I mean, huge. I mean, I'm a huge fan of both of them guys. And, I mean, it never hurts to have Patrick Mahomes on your team, but
Yeah.
for sure. But anyway, you know, I've shared this with Joe last week, and I tell people, you know, 'cause I'm a big Steelers fan too. You know, heck with them Cowboys. You know, I love Jerry Jones to death, but I can't stand the Cowboys. And but you know, the Rooney family knows how to hire head coaches. Man, they've only had 3 head coaches since 1969. That's saying something. That'll never be duplicated.
Well, their whole organization's good. They draft well. They make good decisions. They don't panic. They don't. I mean, they do what is right then and there, and they make the decision that's right for that moment. They don't. And if it means giving somebody a lot of money that really doesn't deserve it, I just think they're smart. I mean, they're smart with their cap. They're smart with their draft choices, and they're patient. And
they're patient. So they stick with their guy. If they know they got the right guy, they stick with them. They don't have a hair trigger, you know, wanting to fire coaches and stuff. I mean,
they have great culture.
They stick with them.
I mean, they have a great. You know, they have I guarantee you, they got a squad of guys that police themselves. You don't have some fool like Micah Parsons saying what he said yesterday about.
Oh no, Joe! That was taken out of context.
That was not.
Go listen to the whole thing. I listened to the whole thing. It was taken out of context.
What he said.
Don't you think McCarthy's got to be on the hot seat, guys?
Yeah, he's gone.
No, you don't. You don't say that. You don't even go down that road. There's no context.
Thanks, Corn Dog. Thanks for stirring it up, Corn Dog. Way to go.
The context is you just don't go there. You just when they ask you about Mike McCarthy, you just go straight vanilla. Hey.
That's over my head.
Right.
He did say that.
Well, but he went on to say a lot more.
He's more worried about his players, his teammates. That's what that because this could be the last year for some of these guys, and he doesn't want them to go out that way.
But then to go in but to make the asinine statement about, you know, how much time the players do not, the physicality of the players is unmatched. I mean, the coaches don't do the physicality. Mm-hmm. The time that those cats put in compared to what the players put in, it's not even close.
No.
I mean, and so it was a stupid comment. And you can see, in my opinion, you can see why there's a lot of problems in their locker room.
Go listen to the whole answer. I think it'll change your mind.
Nothing's going to change my mind.
The whole answer.
There is no hole because the part of the hole is that asinine statement that he made.
That he can come or go?
Right. Why do you say that?
Because that's the truth. He can choose to leave if he wants to after the end of the year. It's not. That's not.
He's not going to. Everybody.
He's not worried about him. He's worried about his teammates.
He's not going. It's not. There ain't no. He ain't having a choice.
No.
He ain't going to get a choice.
No. Rebecca.
Good afternoon. First, how about those Chiefs? It was a great game. But y'all were talking about that ref who spoke in German yesterday. He did that out of reverence for his dad because 20 years ago, his dad did that same thing when he called it, when he was over in Mexico doing a game. They explained that last night on NBC, I think it was, where I heard it. So y'all have already praised the Chiefs enough, so you don't need me doing the same thing like I do every day. And I know you get tired of it, Wes. So I thought I'd share my and do that. Have a good day. Love you, guys.
You defend Micah Parsons and dog Rebecca.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
Real estate issue? Business or civil dispute? Hire the Lions. There's no one better to protect your pride than our pride of Legal Lions. Exceptional communication and exceptional results in both the negotiating room and the courtroom. Lion Legal, the legal pride of Arkansas. Call 227-ROAR, and Lion Legal will come roaring to the rescue.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting, hit the gym during lunch. Jake has soccer tonight, and Emily has gymnastics? Oh, did I turn on the crock pot this morning?
With a never-ending to-do list, it's easy to forget something important, like setting up a life insurance plan with Shelter Insurance. Your local Shelter agent can show you how to create a safety net for your family. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
For a free insurance review, see Shelter agent Jeff Hodge or Jay Helm in Little Rock or Bo Beavis in Cabot.
The colder temperatures are starting to come back, and what's that mean? Well, if you've got achy joints, everything's going to start to hurt again. Hey, everybody, it's RJ Hawk. Are you tired of knee pain, back pain, hip pain, all because of arthritis? Well, what if I told you there was a fix? What if I told you could use your own body's healing properties to treat the root cause of your arthritic pain? QC Kinetics can get you there. The protocols developed by QC Kinetics are life-changing that so many people around Central Arkansas are making that free consultation call to find out more about how they can live pain-free. Yes, you can have real lasting relief from chronic joint pain without drugs, without surgery, and without downtime. Stop what you're doing right now, pick up the phone and call 501-222-8440. Discover your options with advanced regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics. The consultation is absolutely free, so what are you waiting on? Call 501-222-8440. That's 501-222-8440.
For those who push the boundaries and know no barriers, the wake up at nooners and dessert before dinner eaters, the jackpot dancers and sequined pantsers, the risk takers and heartbreakers, the hapless, the rogue, and the hopeless romantics. Our time has come. Play bold at the new Southland Casino Hotel, the Mid-South's premier gaming destination. Plan your stay at southlandcasino.com.
There's nothing like fall in Arkansas. Friday night lights, tailgates, sweater weather. Life is there to live. You know it, the Crane team knows it. So when you're looking for the perfect pre-owned vehicle, your Crane team has you covered. 4Runners, Tahoes, F-150s, and more. Shop thousands of pre-owns, all backed by the Crane commitment, including our love it or leave it exchange guarantee. Shop from the comfort of your home. Visit us today at craneteam.com.
So if breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and you gave those special people on your list the Petit Jean Meat breakfast box, wouldn't it then become the most important Christmas gift of the season? Certainly the most flavorful. Yes, the Petit Jean Meat breakfast box comes with smoked sliced ham, peppered bacon, smoked bacon, fresh roll of sausage, and you ready for a surprise? A wonderful cinnamon coffee cake. The Petit Jean Meat breakfast box, make it happen. Order it at pjmeats.com.
Have questions about retirement, investments, or your money? Call our financial hotline,
Dial 501-381-5228 and leave a voicemail with your specific financial question, and our experts will answer it on the Get Ready for the Future show Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. Get your financial questions answered by the pros. 501-381-5228. Call now. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice offered through Independent Advisor Alliance. Independent Advisor Alliance and Genwealth Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Out of Bounds, live from the Gwatney Chevrolet studio.
Flip mode. 9-7. Bust a bus. Hot sh. Check it out. Hit you with no delay into what you saying, yo. Silly with your ice, grilly with the dilly, yo. When I be on the mic, it's I do my duty, yo.
First and goal from the 9. St. Brown on the edge. Got blockers. Up and around St. Brown. Touchdown Detroit. Lions right back in it. Jake Bates is from this area. 1 year ago, he was selling bricks in Houston, Texas. A month later, got a chance at the UFL tryout, made it there, kicked there, earned the job with the Lions from 58 to tie the game. Bates just inside the upright, ties it at 23. Now back in his hometown, he's got a 52-yarder for a come-from-behind win for the Agents. From 52 for the win, it is just good! Just inside the upright, Jake Bates, hometown hero, and the Lions have come all the way back.
How many Lions fans were there last night? It sounded like they were playing that game in Detroit.
Yeah, they had.
Oh no, they travel. I mean, last year did they play? They played us last year. I remember.
Yeah, first game of the season.
And I mean the blue in Arrowhead Stadium was amazing. It was they all had the light blue, and they stuck out like a sore thumb. And I mean, it was.
Well, that's the way it was last night too. They showed it.
It's amazing.
Here is Jake Bates.
And just recently, you were a brick salesman. You thought you were out of football. So what does this mean to you to come back and do this in your hometown area?
Yeah, I mean, I think it just shows, how good the Lord is. He's so faithful, and man, my story is, if anything, I just hope people can see Jesus through my story, and I mean, that's what I think I'm here to do is not make or miss or be a good kicker or a bad kicker, but spread the love of Jesus. So, hopefully I'm able to do that on the stage I'm given.
Hey, Joe, if that kick would have been about 2 feet to the left.
Name it 2 feet. I mean, another 6 inches. It hits the pole.
Would have been 6 inches to the left. His Sundays would have been free to praise the Lord all he wanted.
The 58 and the 52-yarder. They were both just
inside.
I'm happy for him.
Yeah.
I was, when he was saying that, I was thinking that, though. I mean, I was like, you're 6 inches to the left, and you had all day Sunday to do whatever you want.
Speaking of kickers in Arkansas, Arkansas just lost the nation's top kicker that was committed to them. He's flipped and decided to go to Florida.
He doesn't seem to be very smart to me. Has he not seen our kickers this year? If I was watching us, I'd be like, man, I'd roll in there and play. Yeah. Play day one.
3 years of kicking, I'm off to the NFL.
Maybe money had something to do with it. Who knows? Probably did. Probably some kind of NIL thing or something.
Did you see the Utah AD?
Yeah.
Go. Here it is.
For 12 years, this game was absolutely stolen from us. We were excited about being in the Big 12, but tonight I am not. We won this game. Someone else stole it from us. Very disappointed. I will talk to the commissioner.
Oh, yeah, you will.
This is not fair to our team. I'm disgusted by the professionalism of the officiating crew tonight.
Yeah, you're going to talk to the commissioner, all right? You're going to get all you want with the commissioner.
You think you got the call that night or the next morning?
Probably was his assistant was holding the phone waiting for him to get done. So, I mean, now it was a terrible call. I mean, it was an awful call, but, I mean, you can be that upset. I don't think you go public with it.
No.
You can't. You don't win that way. You just can't win that way.
First of all, I don't know that I've ever seen an AD address the media after the game, and then to do that.
They came out both barrels.
Oof. Mark's in Little Rock. What's up, Mark?
Hey guys, how are you, man?
Great.
Excellent, beautiful day. I'm a big Chiefs fan, and it's really funny. I was a Chiefs fan back in the early '90s. I flipped from being a Broncos fan, and there weren't Chiefs fans to be found in Central Arkansas. Now everyone's a Chiefs fan.
I'm telling you, I used to wear my
but
gear.
Which is great. It's nice to have. For a while there, you couldn't hide from all the Dallas fans. But two things. 49er Joe's right about the Lions. I just don't think they have the push to get all the way. But another thing, his team, out of all the teams in the NFL in the last few years, I think the 49ers have been the best team on paper, but they have been devastated by injuries. And if you look at last year, the Final Four teams, the reason why the Chiefs prevailed, one of the reasons, is we had fewer injuries than the other three teams that were still standing. All three of the other teams had just been devastated with their lineups. Chiefs have been banged up, but we're seeing it this year. We're on thin ice, the Chiefs are. And God bless the organization for picking up DeAndre Hopkins and Hunt. Those were great saves for the program when they got them. Because if you think without those two, think of where the Chiefs would be right now. We are being devastated by injuries too. We're starting to look like the 49ers, and I don't. As much as I support the team and have been positive of us getting through, especially last year when people were discounting us, including one former Arkansas quarterback who said that we wouldn't even make it in the playoffs. Clint, I'm talking about you, buddy. But I don't think that this team can hang on this year. We're just so beat up.
Got to get home field advantage. I think this year
we got to get home field advantage.
This year
right,
more than ever, we got to have it.
Guy Run, Mark, thanks for the call.
All right, thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
What's happening tonight at Corky's besides great food?
Yeah, man, we got $5 cheese dip, $5 onion rings, $2 drafts, and then we got $10 lunch special Monday through Friday. You can get pulled pork salad, chicken quesadilla, Big Joe burger, ultimate chicken, blackened chicken wrap, chicken tenders, any of those, any day of the week, Monday through Friday, 11 to 2 for $10. Holiday season's coming. Get your hams and turkeys, your holiday feast for $14.99. Got party rooms available. Got bulk delivery starting at $7.49. You were telling me about you did it this weekend. Had a good experience.
Value is unbelievable.
Yeah, great value. But just give us a call, man. You won't regret it.
Joe, thanks.
Yep.
Joe, good job today. We will see you back here tomorrow. Drive Time Sports is next.
Fellas, are you dealing with low energy? Do you not have the same pep in your step that you used to have? It could be low testosterone. Testosterone replacement therapy, or TRT, is the answer. But guys, we have different T levels, man. We're not all the same. Don't go for TRT with a standard dosage plan. Ask. There is a difference. Look for TRT with an optimized personal treatment plan. That's what you'll get with the experts at Low T Center. They provide advanced therapy and have over a decade of experience to back it all up. Go to lowtcenter.com to book your appointment online. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
An evening with Larry the Cable Guy.
It's a cool anniversary for me tonight. This is my 27th year in the comedy business, and it's my 5th year being funny, so I'm excited about both of them, all right?
Friday, January 17th, Oaklawn Event Center in Hot Springs. On sale now at oaklawn.com.
Get her done.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
103.7 The Buzz is your home for Razorback football. Coverage each week is presented by Genesis of Conway, Low T Center, and Gwatney Chevrolet. 103.7 The Buzz. The Hogs play here.
Arkansas's most listened to sports talk show, Drive Time Sports, is coming up next on 103.7 The Buzz. KABC in Little Rock.
Buzz News with KARK's Claire Kreitz.
In Camden, police arrest the person they say shot several rounds, damaging property in the area. Police say calls for shots fired came in near Agee Avenue and McCullough Street Friday afternoon around 4:30. When police got there, they found one person with 2 guns. Officers took that suspect into custody after they say the suspect fired shots at cars and a utility pole. No injuries were reported. The Rev Room in Little Rock helped kick off a new campaign for Called to Duty. It's a nonprofit that helps veterans dealing with substance abuse. The group behind it hopes to bring awareness to their struggles and find ways the community can help them. Call to Duty provides veterans with resources they need to overcome addictions. If you or someone you know needs help, we have a link on our website, krk.com. This is Claire Kreitz for the Buzz Radio Network.
Weather from the Fletcher Weather Center. Buzz Weather with KARK's Pat Walker.
Happy Veterans Day. It's going to be a beautiful day. A high of 71 degrees, mostly sunny, and a north wind of 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear, kind of chilly, with a light north-northeast wind. We'll have an overnight low of 48 degrees. For the Buzz Radio Network, I'm meteorologist Pat Walker.
Fletcher Dodge wants to buy your car. We'll buy any make or model, and we'll pay you more than anyone else. Please, turn your old car into cash at Fletcher Dodge in Sherwood.
Want to get in on the conversation? Shoot us a text at the D3 Auto Sales text line at 501-614-1037. D3 Auto Sales in Desart, the #1 independent dealer in the state with the best prices and largest selection.